Yeah, your lamps look good too, Vince. I could see them.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, yours too.
I got mine spread out.
Yeah.
All right. Hello. Welcome to the HEX Happy Hour Show. Give a minute to get everybody in here. As they filter in, I will watch them filter in.
Yeah, that probably take a little bit to get here. I posted on my Twitter and a few different places. So.
Yeah, I did some retweeting. I could do some more.
Yeah, I did the retweeting too.
I threw it out on the telegrams. Probably throw it in DS room as well one more time.
Yeah, that's where I kind of run into an issue because if I use my phone, I can't. I would have to have my computer. I have my computer here too, but I can't like go and check chat or anything, because I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
Does that look all right for a phone?
Yeah, it looks great. Very good for a phone. Yeah,
looks great.
You're damn right, Joe Hexidente. Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see you, Joe. Always.
What's up, Joe?
Yeah, so Joe's doing something. Well, Joe's everywhere, actually.
Yeah.
Doing all sorts of interviews, and he's doing a Sunday morning thing for the Christian Hexican population, which is pretty darn cool. Doing a mini Bible study, so that's awesome. Yeah. He's doing great interviews. I mean, I
watched the Sunday service. That was real cool. I dug that.
Yeah, I can't keep up with it all. It's awesome. It's a great problem to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the issue. Is like even new streamers that are coming on, they're trying to stream like that. The Wales Only guy, super smart guy, started streaming, but there's so many streams. He was always doing them at the same time because he didn't know that all these other guys were streaming. So that's why hexlive.tv has like the calendar. So I was showing him, hey, just do a show whenever other shows aren't going on because you'll probably get looked over.
TV. I hadn't seen that one. I was on hexstreamers.com. That's hexstreamers.com. But that's cool. Look at this calendar. Very nice. Very good.
Yeah, Joe Exotic made that hexlive.tv.
Nice. Cool.
And if you have a date or a time you want to submit, you can do that too on there. I'm pretty sure.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have to start adding those in. Bingo Earth has some stakes starting to come up in February, so we're going to start kicking off some more episodes of that here.
Nice.
Yeah, I never
rolling stakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I never got in to join you guys with the bingo, but I definitely want to one of these days.
Yeah, it's all goes to charity, and you can win some hex. It's turn cash into hex pretty much. It's fun.
Yeah.
And
all right.
I think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I think we're gonna just start having to do I think I'm gonna start having other each of y'all can come on and do a show with me too. Pick a charity that y'all like, and we'll feature it, and we can talk about it and shit.
I'll definitely be doing that.
Cool.
Outstanding.
Yeah, that'd be great. I was gonna say I have a local charity I'm actually kind of a part of in my town. It's like a Christian-based nonprofit one that does stuff in Africa, and so that'd be cool. Yeah, we should do something like that.
That'd be great. Yeah, that's where we got our start too. It's like a Christian-based nonprofit charity in the area that was doing a bingo show, and then when COVID happened, they couldn't go. They were doing like a drag queen bingo at the local bar here, and they couldn't do it anymore. So I was like, I'll gladly take up the reins and help out.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Anyways, Cabana, let's lead it into some topics.
Yeah, I mean, let's just take a look at one of these charts here. So I'm usually just a watcher of the USD, but this one, the Hex ETH chart, is very, very interesting because we've been kind of grounding along this year-end support, and then we kind of exploded up from there going into 2021, and now we're kind of grounding around here. So just any technical take there?
I've seen traders that have nothing to do with the Hex community that are making takes on this and buying in based on just the TA here. They're like, I actually saw somebody that was like, just finally dumped all my uni for all the uni I had for Hex, UD's at market, cycle highs, Hex is at cycle lows, it seems like a no-brainer. So like that, there's other cats coming to the party because that does, I mean, like as far as when I've been watching, like I'm very poor at technical analysis or trading or any of that shit, but from what I've paid attention to for years and years, I mean that's buying low, right? I mean, like
I mean it's at the recent low anyway. Let me
I mean, so if you're gonna get in, and I mean if there's gonna be, and if you zoom out from that too, you'll notice if you go to the Hex ETH Uniswap V1 pair,
hey, check that out.
Yeah, because if you go to the you're on V2 right now, but if you go to V1, you'll see that where we are right now is right above, still just trending a little bit. If you pull back a little bit from there, all right, there you go. You'll see we're still just right above where the whale bought in, like the original like, super buy. So like if there's going to be a place that the whale is going to defend their bags, we're getting very close. I mean, if it was a good buy for them then why wouldn't it be a good buy for them now? Is it something changed? I think not. We've only solidified ourselves more.
Yeah, and then I was also thinking in that time period, these whales that held ETH, how much did they gain off their ETH in that time?
Oh yeah, that's
another great point because I mean all these major cryptos are going up that can be used to kind of diversify into some other ones, and that's kind of what we saw happen. Well, we did see it last cycle. So yeah, that's a great point. If Bitcoin goes up, Richard's talked about $3,000 ETH. I don't know why, but he said it would be very nice for ETH to go to 3K. Just a random number, I'm sure, just like the random chart line. Yeah,
I mean, I think he was just mentioning like if like in the context of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin 2x'd from its all-time high already. So why doesn't ETH? Why not that now? I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, I think that we can go a much higher. I mean, we'll get into all the reasons why, but I mean, like the cycle here is great. I mean, we've gone up and down a few times, and if you compare that to the USDC chart, which is upwards trending overall, then you can see anybody who's stuck in ETH through this time was very happy for sure. I'm sure.
Well, yeah, and those whales, that's what they do. They've had it for years, so they didn't get shook out or anything. So
yeah.
Yeah, and if you're able to put in limit orders now through 1 inch, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to defend. I would think anyway, because you're not having to do the swap thing and kind of be more present, I would guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
at Pine Finance too.
Yeah. And they're not orders that are sitting on the blockchain, so it's not actually like things people can see until they actually get executed.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
I saw a bunch of other Hexicans drawing descending wedges, and the fact that the candles kind of broke out of it a little bit. So that's a good sign too.
Yeah.
I think I think we're too early there. I mean, I guess there's the wedge, and it's like.
Yeah, it depends on the time frame too.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like where you're going, and if you want to
and
take all the way from the top, and
that's true. Yeah.
So I mean, that's like quite the wedge.
Yeah,
there.
which is tough because like you can't really. I mean, like that one buy was was really a gift to everybody. Like that is out of character from what the rest of what was going on.
That's a mess,
and another thing to look at is that whenever that buy happened, what the liquidity on the ETH pair side, I think, was a lot higher. So if that,
if that buy happened now,
it would it would moon. It would go pretty high.
Yeah, that's true.
That's very true.
I'm not a huge fan of the wedges I've seen, just because over the past, I'd say month, over the past month, you could have redrawn them I don't know how many times, so your wedge could have been here, and it's like, okay, okay, and now we're like out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, well, we broke this wedge, and now we're flat. So it kind of keeps going. But I do like,
Yeah.
I like the base, and
Yeah, I like that. I mean,
especially what
if you-
Kirk was saying with, we're above that whale area, which is huge. What is that price? It's still like, oh, that was way down here. Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a ways.
We'd have to still go back, probably like another 60-70% before we'd be near where that buy was, because it was before, like it was right before 0.2. We were like 0.1%. Yeah. So
Yeah.
It's a pretty unique position that the hex stakers get to be in, the Hexicans, because you could look at price charts and stuff, and most people don't. Most people that are looking at price charts, they're looking at possible exits or re-entry spots. But with Hexicans, it's almost like it's entertainment for us to watch the price, because it's like we're 100% staked. Might add a little here and there, but it's almost just entertainment for me at this point.
Yeah.
That's an interesting line there. If you just go by the close back here, we're kind of like right there. I don't want to go back and visit, so let's just.
I don't want to do that either. But I have drawn some similar lines where are some similar parallels where I've noticed a couple times that right before we take off, even this was big payday, sure, but before that, when we first took off, way back when too, there was also a nice, you see it down there. There's a nice dip that we took right before we took off as well. So if you want that last chance to get in,
you're talking right there.
Yep. Okay. You get it. You got it there. You get it at big payday too. You got two different chances of where you get a serious deal if you're waiting on it. If you're have your finger on the button.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yesterday, I don't know if you guys have seen this chart. I sent it to a couple guys, and they didn't seem like it was something new to them, but I thought I hadn't seen it before, and it was a post big payday. I posted it on Twitter. It's post big payday T-share to BTC chart and T-share to ETH chart. And it's just cool. I hadn't seen the T-share charts like that, but it was cool to watch post big payday how the T-shares. It's pretty crazy to watch the fractals, how they are reacting, to how BTC was acting and how ETH is acting. So it was just cool to see it. I hadn't seen that before.
What's up,
brother?
My man. We saved a couple topics for you. So
good.
We were just checking out some beautiful chartage there.
Yeah, great. Coffee's the guy to ask about this stuff.
Yeah, well, you're talking about T-shares, and I like, let's see, Graph Hexes. I love their overlay that they have there. So let's bring that up here. So it's here, and I just for fun, I do like going back in time and checking out, say, what USD level we're at. So it's oh, cool, we're upper 70s here, and T-share price is 130. And back here, we were, say close to that. T-share price was 81, and that just goes to show you the appreciation in T-share price versus actual price, and shares is where it's at. And I hope more and more people get that, because man, they're so powerful as opposed to just concentrating on the price.
Yeah, and that's why I was focusing more on T-shares more, because it's when I'm comparing these two, I'm not comparing Hex to Bitcoin or Ethereum. I'm actually comparing the T-share to it. So I always see the T-share USD chart, but it was cool to see the T-share BTC ETH, just because those are kind of the three top dogs, that I'm really looking at right now.
Johnny Chaos is pumping those T-shares.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what's so funny? It was interesting about that is that T-shares, to me, to some degree, because all right, the Hex has been out for over a year, so I've had a couple stakes that have come up, and it's really easy for me at this point in time, for the first couple years here, to get the same amount, if not more, T-shares, because I believe more in the system now than I did a year ago. So I'm happy to stake out most of those coins to, a much longer time period than the 1 year that I did now. So like I got, because of that, I'm happily gaining T-shares in the process. I mean, that'll only work for like the first 4 years or so, but but in some ways they're easy to get if you believe.
All Hexicans believe. True Hexicans.
The real ones, anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, like I said, generally at first you're speculating a lot or you're not sure about it, but mine was a little different because I was basically, once I researched it a lot and focused on it, I knew that this was a tool that I was going to use for sure. So it didn't take very much time before I went from small conservative-ish buy-ins to larger, but that's usually how the system will work. Yeah, you get more comfortable and then you're going to be staking longer and getting a similar or even a better T-share rate, even though it has gone up quite a bit.
Okay. I got it from the beginning, like but like I was just trying to play the whole field out, like I mean my first, like when I aped in and freaking and FOMO'd in on day one, like I took all what I got on day one and just staked it out for 15 years. I was like, Richard said to stake it as long as you can, so fuck it.
Not financial advice.
You don't all have to do that, like I mentioned the word ape at the beginning of that for the reason.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm running into a lot because I guess in my mentality, I've already come to the point where like my time horizon's 15, 20, 30 years. So when I'm trying to, my friends and family, I'm talking to them, sometimes I forget that they are just beginning and their time horizon is really small. They can't even hardly see past today, let alone. And then if you take a trader that has the opposite of long-term mentality, then so you get to like see all these different levels of how the people are as they're entering, and it's just pretty cool to see that dynamic with everyone.
Yeah, Johnny Chaos is in the chat here, and he echoes what I was saying. Look at how far down the Hex price is. T-share price, slight move. LOL. Hex pumps T-shares are going to jump. I am in full agreement with that. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, nice little look at price there. So we in the community had some news this week, and somebody, our recent panelist who just joined down there in the bottom left, created a wonderful video for all Hexicans. I'll put that link in the description later. But Coffee Man, what's your take on the app? How you liking it? I know features are getting kind of rolled out, so a lot of people don't have them yet, but you've had, I guess, a lot of time to play with it. So you have some takes on that?
It's beautiful. It's the best app that's ever existed in the history of mankind. It's going to go totally viral. I don't know how it can't. I've been beta testing it. Sure. I've been beta testing it for a week or two. A lot of the guys have. I'm sure Big K has, and anybody that was in the Discord was available to do it. But if you haven't got it already, it's going to be on the App Store and iOS and Android. It's going to do a slow, randomized rollout. But for me, I just noticed it on my Apple App Store today. So I got the real version today, not the beta version. All the same features and everything. So everybody should probably have it by now. If not now, maybe like one more week, maybe two more.
I think everybody has the ability to download the update now, but not everybody, once you create your, like I have one account that I made that I was helping somebody with, that they made their wallet, and then it, once you punch in your seed words, it'll just say like, all right, come back. It could take a week or so before we're gonna have a wallet made. So like, other than that, all the other features, you can get your referral link, you can see the new updates that they've added to it for sure. But you won't the wallet features will be, which I mean, there's some other cool features that I really like about it. The ability to see whatever wallets you're tracking, what their USDC and ETH balances are, is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I just wrote an article about it today. It's on Medium, so check it out, or go to staker.coffee and get your direct link. It's free, so you got nothing to lose. Only me that has something to gain. And USD on ramps, right? So 3 different options: ramp, transact, into coin. no matter where you are in the world, you can download this, right? Whatever jurisdiction you're in, you could transform your garbage fiat money into something much more sustainable that's going to be here and retain its value a lot better. So going from money, dollars to crypto, you could do that. Smart wallet addresses, so non-custodial. You hold your own keys. That's what crypto was invented for. You're not giving your keys away like you would in, a Coinbase or a Celsius or some of these other apps, which is okay. It's a good starting point to get into crypto if you're doing a non-custodial wallet. But if you really want to own your money and be in control of your future, you're going to want something like Staker because it's your money. Nobody can shut you off. Nobody can censor you, block you, revoke your privileges, or nothing can really go down. They can't take the buy button away. They can't take the sell button away. So there's that, non-custodial, right? You can hold Ethereum, HEX, and USDC. So beautiful because those are obviously the two primary liquidity pairs for HEX. And it allows you to do auto staking, auto laddering. At the click of a button, you can say, I want to stake X amount for X number of months, X number of years. So that's pretty badass. What else? What else am I missing, guys?
You can choose what fee what you want to spend your fees in. So if you want to pay the fees in ETH or USDC or HEX or whatever you want, you can choose that.
Yeah. So pay by crypto of your choice. Pay gas fee in crypto of your choice is probably the biggest feature and the most revolutionary feature that I don't think any other app is doing right now. It solves one of the pain points for the user experience of Ethereum in general. And it only recently became available as a feature to do. So there was a test run of it. Somebody made hex transfer.xyz and they tested out, does it even work? There's this ability to replace ETH gas fees with the currency that you are transacting in or staking in or unstaking in. And this takes so much out of it because imagine you're a person, right? You just got into crypto. You said, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to get into Staker. Let me put $1,000 in USDC, transfer it over to the wallet. And then now you're trying to transfer and swap your USDC into HEX and it says you don't have enough gas fees. So as a user, I'm like, what the fuck? I want to transfer one thing into another. Why do I have to buy a third thing? Why should I have to do that? So the swap feature, not only does it pull from 1inch Exchange, which is a DEX aggregator. So it not only does it pull from 1inch Exchange and gets you the best price from every DEX, whether that's Uniswap or whatever. It's probably going to be Uniswap the majority of the time. But you can also replace the fees in whatever currency you're transacting in. So that's one of the biggest things for me. Not only does it look beautiful, but it has all these different features. That's on top of that, the referral system. So if you like it and you want to share it with somebody that you like, referral system is there for you. You can get a little benefit out of that. It is a chick magnet. I haven't confirmed this yet, but I think it is. So, well.
And I think aren't they gonna have to where like they'll have I'm not sure if you already said this or not, but basically a staking ladder templates where you could either like copy and paste someone's existing ladder, like if you want to copy their ladder, or they'll have like templates like 5-year, 10-year, 15-year ladder.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think they have the monthly and annually out. I think the copy trading or copy staking, will probably come later.
Yes, the copy staking will come later. The cooler, like they're obviously working on some more achievements and stuff. That'll be fun to see what they come up with. We're excited for all those stuff too. Yeah.
One of the caveats about this though is that these smart wallets that they're creating for you actually cost money. So they're taking a big hit in terms of their own personal expenditures on creating a wallet for everybody. What we hope to do, or what we should be doing in this early stage, we already have a seed user base of over 20,000 people, which is leaps and bounds more in magnitude than most apps have when they just start out. But what we should be targeting for the time being, I think, is high net worth individuals or people with enough money so that the $100 in gas that it's going to take from now till their first stake doesn't matter, right? Because it's going to take about $100 in gas from swapping to staking to transferring in to buying with the little transaction fee on Ramp or Transact, all that stuff. If that's going to bother somebody, we don't really want them in right now. We want high net worth people right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of an obstacle to onboarding too, is just your buddies and stuff like that. It's oh my gosh, transaction fee or gas, and it's just like, oh man, there's nothing I can do about it right now. But it has been like a small roadblock for a couple guys who just want a taste of it. You know what I mean? Once they get a taste, I've had a couple of just, man, they're hooked.
I mean, I understand that their pain because of the gas fees. It's a few different people that I've wanted that were a couple of them that were high worth individuals that I wanted to get. I paid for it. I was like, here's the $100 in HEX, here's the $50 in ETH. Like, let's do this. And I showed them that myself before. Like, I mean, which is still, it's painful enough. So like, I understand exactly what Steph and Firebird are going through, buying all these, essentially paying for everyone's wallet. I mean, it's you're like, please like this. Please,
it's a challenge. It's a challenge. But I will say that if we are onboarding people and we do run into I don't want to pay $100 for gas, I just want to try it out for free. One option is you can give them a little bit for free. That's what I've done with some people. Just be generous and give them 1,000 HEX for free. Or another option is to really explain to them and really seriously sit them down and say, how much do you care about your future? How much are you willing to risk versus, how much are you going out and spending at the bar or spending on booze every week? If you don't have $1,000 to invest in your future, maybe this isn't even for you. So maybe you can think about it a little more, think about how, show them the potential for gains, right? Show them the exponential returns. And I'm not saying, I know this is a very elitist thing, right? Some people are probably shitting their pants in the chat over here about, it's not, I'm not saying HEX is only for rich people, guys, but I'm saying like, you need to think about how much you want to invest in yourself, because this is an investment for your own future. So if you don't care about yourself enough to put a good chunk of change in there, I mean, maybe that says a little bit about you as well.
That's totally true. I was gonna say you can counter that because especially with the gas fees, it's like $5, $8, $10, and people are like complaining nonsense. And it's like, if that's really, I mean, maybe it sucks in the position you're in, but if a $5 or $10 fee is really going to hurt you that much, you probably aren't in the position to even be in this thing. So it's like, but it has been a massive hurdle because I always have to go to people's houses to, like my buddies, they get to MetaMask and then they don't know what to do, or that, it's always something. So it'll be nice. But I have a question. Is there a limited amount of those smart wallets? Like, are they going to have to keep buying them into the future? Like, how does that work?
They can continue to keep buying them. Like, there's not like a limited amount overall, but I mean, but they have to buy them for every person. So.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why I heard them say, I think it was Steph said, if you're 100% staked and you're a Hexican, to not use the smart wallet, to have the new users use the smart wallets with the Gnosis safes and stuff, because it costs them a lot of money, and basically it's for onboarding new people. That's why I didn't make one. I didn't make one yet, or I'm not going to make one probably yet.
Yeah. Internet lurker. That's the exact opposite of my point. I can tell it really got the point home with you. Nothing gets by you, Nelly. But no, it's like, work, get a job, save money. And when you're ready to invest and you're ready to make an investment, gas shouldn't have to be that big of a problem for you, especially if you can have the foresight to think, even more than a month in the future. This is not a get rich quick scheme. So I don't want anybody to ever think that you're going to get rich overnight in HEX. You're going to get rich over a period of years. So it's not too sexy with the ADD generation and the, crack addicted social media stuff we've got going on. But I mean, this is how we change human behavior, right? I think this is going to save society from their self a lot of the time.
Totally.
It's not going to save everybody, but it's going to give people who are looking for a lifeline up, like a way to help themselves. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I have a question about the referral on the staker. So say someone goes into your referral, through your referral, it opens up staker. They open up a smart wallet and go through the process. Is that how it works? Like, I haven't gone through the start to finish. Like, I have my referral, but I haven't done the referral actually. Is that how it works?
Yeah, so the referrals just kind of show up. I already got 3. Pretty sweet, I know. It gives you 20% of the transaction fee. So whatever the person transacts, and sorry, 20% of the staker fee, which is the tiny little add-on to the gas fee, and that's how they're monetizing the app. So does it just show up? I don't even know if any. Let me check.
Yeah, because I didn't know. I didn't know, like say they scan the code or they go through the referral, like that brings them to an open page. And then what do they do once they're on that page? Like, do they open up a wallet? Do they?
Oh, the link links them directly to the App Store. So they
Okay, yeah.
and
Yeah,
they
so
say
they're-
click on the link. I don't know where it's saved. It's not in a cookie. It's Steph must be doing something even smarter than that because I couldn't find the cookie. But it's working because I've got 6. I just checked.
It's working, and it works better than, from what I can understand, it works better than just a cookie in the sense that, like, because like with a cookie, you can go back through and see who you got referred by, but with this, you can't tell who, like, you can't see who actually's link you clicked on at the end of it all, unless somehow you're, self-referring. It's an awful thing like that you should never do.
I
don't know who's ever done that in this room. But, yeah.
So you went from 3 to 6 referrals. Coffee 2x'd.
I 2x my referrals
2x referral.
in the last 4 hours. Apparently, I guess my shilling is going pretty well. I'm such a better shiller now. Like when I first started Hex, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even get a referral until like May or something like that from somebody that wasn't me. Right.
Yeah.
So now it's great to be able to take everything we've learned over the past year and just go balls to the wall with the Staker.app. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited.
It really is the like where everything really begins here, like this, because I mean, there's a lot of people that there's several like classes of people that I know that I didn't even touch with Hex because I don't have the, like, they don't have the patience. I think I might have the patience, but I don't really think I have the patience. Like that, this is going to make things a lot easier. It's going to make things a lot easier for onboarding. So yeah.
That is the single biggest hurdle that I ran into was, okay, Hex sounds awesome. How do I get it? And then that from that point to getting them, that process is being simplified. It's like so big for the future.
Yeah. First question I get is, what exchange is it on? And that's the default that our brains go to. And
all the people that are no coiners that ask, or the question they ask me is, what app do I download? What do I download? No, well, you're gonna need a few things, and it's gonna take a little bit, and you got an exchange. No, fuck all that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it hasn't even been around long. Like the referral, the sticker app hasn't really been like prolifically out for very long. So being able to see it out for a couple months and just the next year or so, the effect is going to be huge, because all those people that it turned from a maybe to a no in that time, it'll probably go from like a maybe to okay, you're staked now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool.
Yeah, it's in the paradigm of what people already are used to. So apps, everyone knows what an app is. So we can kind of start treating it more like a business now. Like, I cut you off. My bad.
No, it's I'm all good. Dead noise.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're right though. It is definitely more like can be treated like a business. Like there's a product here. Here's what you download to get the product. Here's how you put your credit card into it and get your debit card or whatever right now, to get it. It's all one place to make it all happen. I mean, there's some things that I think that, having the options for stuff is almost too much for people, like I think it's great for us to know what the hell is going on, that I can pay my fees in 3 different types of currency, but like I think that in the future, it would be better if it was just like if there's just they didn't even know that there was transaction fees. They didn't even know it just felt seamless, But I get the necessity for it all.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it's definitely rejuvenated my enthusiasm for Hex in general. Not like it was wearing away, but when there's sideways price action, it's nice to have something to shill. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. I think that's exactly right. I think the sideways price action is tough to deal with sometimes, especially when you see a lot of other things happening around us in the market. Well, Cabana left us, so I don't know if we want to start that next topic. But but that's it is definitely rejuvenating in the sense that like this is right about when I started to really pump Hex hard to others, last year, and like I had my cards, I was making referrals like pretty hard, and like having that not be an option anymore, and now having it like come back is definitely, it's like I know the power of it. Like back then, I was still, like you said, I didn't really fully understand it. I wasn't like 100% like I did it mostly because Richard said to. Like Richard was like, you can get rich off referrals, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever,
Yeah.
and like I remember him in the chat room in Hex, being like, talk to people on board, and I was like, what the fuck do I do? So I made those business cards, and like that was like I did it only because I was like, well, okay, if I got to be a part of this and make it work too, and then it did work incredibly well. I was like, holy shit, so.
I never realized the referral could be a full-time business, and you could be an affiliate marketer. That's just a thing.
Yep.
And I've looked into it before, because I went through my phase of looking up how to make money online and all these different things that I tried and failed at. And Hex is one of the first I've really succeeded at, but I tried digital social media marketing. I tried e-commerce. I tried all the shit that when you Google make money online, it'll tell you like the list. I tried it all. And, affiliate marketing, I was like, oh, that doesn't really work. I tried it. Part of it was because I didn't believe in what I was selling, and you got to sell yourself first, right? So you can't just go affiliate market something that you've never used or that you've never even tried. And that was me back in, dumb little me. But now it's a whole new world of opportunity because you realize that you can affiliate market anything that you like. And right now in my descriptions, I've got Coinbase links. You can get free money, $10 of free money right now if you go click my link in my YouTube. Staker.app money. I mean, money can flow in from all these different avenues that you can tangentially promote things with. You can lead that into Hex as well. You could talk about Hex and say how this thing that you have has helped you onboard new people or has helped you, with whatever aspect of it. This, I created my website with this software. It's a Hex website. Try WordPress, try Bluehost, whatever it is. But a lot of the things that you use probably have an affiliate program. If you have a channel and a platform, I didn't realize the power of that either. People actually care about what you have to say. It's crazy. Who would have thought?
I mean, it's like the first time when I learned. I mean, I've said it before that like the first when I used to think this very upside down way of thinking that people often think that like everybody has a good idea and money is at like a premium and it's like so hard to get your hands on money. And like you get a little older, you realize, and you've gone through business a few times, you realize that that's exactly the fucking opposite. Like there is a ton of money out there and there's not that many unique ass ideas, and same thing with this, if you have a product and you have something to say and you don't even think you do, just being yourself. And if you're a genuine, real person, then somebody wants to listen to you, and somebody gives a shit about what you have to say, and you can then offer your, the things you've learned along the way to them.
Yeah, totally.
That's why I think that it's such a game changer because just a 1 year referral system was a game changer. Now you have basically an indefinite system. And whenever you look into these other multi-level marketing places, whether it's like World Ventures or WFG, all these things, even back to Amway and all this, it's like, well, what products were they selling? And it's like, okay, well, you have cleaning stuff, you have travel stuff, but they didn't care about the products. What the people wanted to make money. So whenever you have Hex, it's like it's a financial thing. So and it's a much easier sell because people care about money. Everyone cares about money basically. So, and people care about making more. So it's just a way easier sell than any other multi-level thing. It's not multi-level marketing, but I mean, that type of marketing idea, it's just so much better, I think.
Yeah. What's crazy too that I learned from Richard is that multi-level marketing is legal. Like you can market up to a certain number of levels. Not saying that we're going to do that. I'm not personally a fan of those kinds of businesses like Cutco and all. You know, no offense if anyone's ever done that or whatever. I know people that do that. It just doesn't seem like an efficient way to sell a product, and it's not really something I can get behind. You know, like Herbalife or whatever fucking Soylent energy drink they're selling. But Verve, right? Verve. In college, they tried to get me to sell Verve, and some guy came into my dorm room and was talking about his sports car that he bought and all this shit, just talking about himself. I'm just thinking, this guy's a douchebag. When is he going to leave my room? And he was trying to go to my frat house and try to, convince people to go sell Verve energy drink. So that's just a weird. I don't know why I got off on that tangent, but yeah, I don't think that's going to really work.
Yeah.
I think that the narrative for the style of marketing referral program that we have is the best it could be, because like you had a referral program, it lasted a year, cool. That was actually created and baked into the product. Whereas now the product is so kick-ass that a third party went above and beyond to design an entire third party based referral program around it that still works, and that is something that you can't ask for anything better, really. You can't. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah,
hey,
and
quick welcome to Silver.
What's up, Silver?
Oh yeah, Silver.
Gentlemen, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be.
Cheers.
Good to see you guys. How are you? You good?
Cheers. Very good. Very good.
Doing good. People have been asking about you.
I saw a few tweets. I'm like, hey, you know what? I've got to take my head out from where it is and pop it up over here and say, hey, what's up?
He didn't, exit on everybody and dump all his hex and
No, of course not. You can't dump 15 viewers, can you?
So what's been going on, Silver? Anything new?
I've got a whole bunch going on where I'm at now, and it's like, unfortunately, I'm probably going to be like at least like another month to 6 weeks to 2 months probably before I get done with what I need to get done. And it's really hard. Like, okay, guys, anyone?
Oh, so it's your stake that's mid-March. That's why that lines up with that timeline. I see you.
If only I wouldn't have any pressures at all. I'd be like, yeah, life's cool, man. Life's cool. But no, that's. I actually came out with Big Pep the other day, and I said a lot of things on one of his one of the last shows that I did with him, where I have a suspicion of what might take place with that particular account. And obviously that's only, a month away, 6 weeks away. 6 weeks. So yeah. So obviously no, you got the front run as well. Don't forget the front runs. There's going to be the preemptive strikes from those out there, right? But long story short, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue now. Now that I've come to terms with kind of seeing the movement, seeing what's going on, I'm like, you know what? I think we're good. I think it's just a little trick play to fuck over a lot of people. And
yeah, I mean that's very nice of you, Silver, to restake that billion for us. Thank you.
1.5, right? Let's get it right.
Gotta front run him so we can get a better share rate.
Yeah. No, but it's we're going to be looking at a lot of interesting things that will happen, lots of dynamics that will change. Obviously, like price wise, it's really kind of boring to look at a price where it don't do much, right? I mean, how much stuff can you talk about when the price just kind of goes sideways? It's not that much you can offer to people to keep them wanting to, keep the incentive going. But the thing that I'm working on at the moment is actually like this is the biggest thing that I think anyone can do inside of this space. And I don't mean to change the course of conversation, but I will. And I'm looking at onboarding. That's the only value that anybody can ever do. And I think there's a higher element of value to anybody that is new. And I was listening to you talk just a minute ago, Crypto Coffee. And the issue with the gas fees, like, yeah, that's a big fucking problem that we have. Serious problem. And I don't know how easy that's going to be to actually to give people, because people like to just do things as a little sample, as a little test, like, all right, let's do a $20 because I don't give a shit about $20, right? Let's just do a small little play, do the maneuvers and get familiar with the system. But with the introduction of saying, okay, it's going to be $100, well, that's a bit different for a lot of people now, isn't it? Right? That's actually, it's, to us, it's not a lot, but to people that just want to dabble a little bit and just try something like $10, $20, $30, it's like, that's a big deal when you got to throw down 100.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, we're now changing the dynamics. And one of the things that I'm building out now is I'm trying to reach out to like the next 100,000 people, right? Because to focus on, 1, 2, 5, 10 people, it's like, it ain't going to change much. Sure, you might catch a whale, but it's like, we need to be bringing in thousands of people. Right, that's the only way that you create that distribution of the coin to multiples, and the social media effect of thousands of people is far more valuable to have thousands of people as opposed to one whale. I mean, a lot of people say, okay, it's better to have one whale, but I'm like, I don't actually agree with that. I think it's better to have like 10,000 people, because then you've got the social media, you've got the time that they will invest into it as well, because that one whale is going to be, okay, I'll buy the coins, I lock them up 15 years, and you won't see me for 15 years.
Right.
So to actually get the social media aspect is the valuable component, which is what I am trying to work towards right now. And one of the other aspects, which is why I want to jump onto the call right now as well, is because I'm pretty damn confused with this Google AdWords stuff as well. And I know that you're working on that aspect quite a bit, and I think you've had a little bit of success. I've dabbled a little bit and I've thrown like 100 here, 100 there, 200 there, and it's like, it seems to just get evaporated for nothing. And it's like, I think I must be doing something a little bit wrong there. So I've put out feelers into certain areas to try and get some professional advice in that area, because there will come a time that I will shout out to the community and say, hey guys, look, my thing's ready. It's not a staker app, but I'm doing the best I can with the time that I have to create further mass adoption through further streams. Because all the time that I spend, time doing spreadsheets, it's like, okay, a spreadsheet takes a week to make, right? And about, I don't know, a few hundred people watch it. Isn't it far more valuable that maybe 50,000 people get the message, as opposed to the ones inside of effectively an echo chamber that we have at the moment? Yeah. Right. So it's like, how do we branch out into new places?
I'm glad you're on the same page as me, Silver, because this is exactly what I like to talk about. To me, it's really the only thing that matters is spreading Hex to the entire world. And onboarding is the most critical thing that anybody can do. It's the most value add to Hex that anybody can do. And if you want help with Google Ads, I've got some stories and some ideas about what could potentially work. When it comes to advertising, you have to be using social media. If you're not using that one-to-many communication, it's so much to shotgun approach to everybody is much more effective than to one by one. You're going to spend all day trying to onboard one person, right? And you have to do that every day. And at the end of the year, you only get 365 people, right? But with this new ability to market on social media, starting a YouTube channel is, in my opinion, one of the most effective ways for people to digest content out there. And so if 30,000 people watch your video, maybe 500 of them will onboard. That's more than one per day for every day of the year. But going into advertising, what I will say is that it's 20% about the targeting, the demographics, all that. I mean, really, Hex is for everybody. So we shouldn't be shutting off even, don't even make it male only, right? Let's target the whole world, because everybody could use Hex, right? But what it is 80% about is actually the quality of the ad itself. And I think that's what we're missing. And that's what I've meant to, I keep putting this off, right? But I meant to go on Fiverr and get people to create interactive ads for me, like video ads of people actually talking, because they do so much better than just simple display ads. People swipe past that stuff all the time. They don't pay attention. So the type of ads that work are a certain formula. And there's a lot more research we can do on that. but there's also people that we can hire for $30 on Fiverr to go make one. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? Like I noticed today, a lot of the trending topics are actually Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and these are trending on social medias at the moment. So it's like, damn, there's a lot of Instagrams going out. There's a lot of tweets going out that are relevant to those areas, and those are niches that you can actually tag and connect into, and talk about something else at the same time as well, be it HEX. But it's all about how you design what it is that you're going to be promoting through that same system. Because actually, you know, I've done a few tests, I've done a few samples, you know, throwing a few hundred out there to see what happens and to see how the algorithms feed it out. And it's really weird. I mean, I've noticed that a lot of people will like and will interact with it, but they won't necessarily follow or click through the links into various YouTube aspects. They will just watch it through the social media platform that they are on, right? And you don't get that continuation through into where you want to funnel them. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I know that feeling. I mean, I know scrolling through Twitter and like seeing a Periscope video that I can watch through my Twitter feed, I'm more likely to watch that than I am to, if somebody's like, click my link to go here and watch my shit. I'm like, nah, scroll on. You know, that's just
right.
I know that human nature.
Yeah. So you have to meet people where they already are. Right?
Yep.
And then you have to get them to take action too. So the hard part is the CTA, or the call to action.
Call to
so you really
action.
need to strike an emotional chord with somebody in order for them to get action. And people buy their way out of pain more than they buy their way into pleasure. So if you can really hone in on the pain that someone's having and how HEX fixes that, I think that's what will get people to buy in. How we exactly do that, I don't know, but the strategy is there.
Right. I mean, I think that we have a super awesome chance right now to capitalize on what we're seeing with the Wall Street bets. I don't know if we're going to get into that talk entirely, but like
what we have this magnitude of a shift taking place. We've got the uptrend of the Bitcoin happening, which is what the social media is promoting at the moment, and we can tap into that quite easily, because it's a crypto and it's the next big thing to happen, and you can cross promote it that way. But I think like that call to action aspect, and a lot of people might not know what call to action means. It means trying to make someone in a ad environment space click on something to convert them through to the stage that you want to then make something happen on the other side.
As
Call
opposed
to action.
STA, it's CTA.
Well, so that's a big dynamic change, which we're trying to cross from where they are into something new to make a point of sale. Even though there's no actual cash transaction taking place, it's like a moving from platform from one to the next. So something that I see that might be the only form of call to action that we can achieve is by offering giveaways. That seems to be the only way that gives people the incentive, the client, the customer, the target, to branch and actually make that extra effort step. It has to be monetized. They have to have a chance of getting something in return, be it a reward, $100 give out, $1,000 give out, a draw in a prize of something. That seems to be the trend. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I mean, people will interact with blatant ass scams if they're thinking that they're going to get $1,000, giveaway.
All that,
I mean, think about our Telegram room. I don't know if anybody was here in Hex early on, but like
I was going to mention that exactly.
How many people did we add on when they did that giveaway?
Hello, hi,
yeah,
hi, hello.
Yeah, we got like 8,000, 10,000 people like almost overnight from that giveaway.
Hi, I'd like to talk to admin, please.
Yes.
You have a great project here. Very good project.
Very good project. Thank you. Yes.
I've been thinking about this a lot, actually. I haven't looked at like the analytics real deep, like the Google Analytics or anything, but I do notice, like, I love making some Hex content. I've been thinking about making more. I haven't made that much, but even with TikTok and stuff, it's like you can make an awesome TikTok that's Hex related, but only the Hex people know what it is. So it's like having those to get someone, like you're saying, that reaction. Just from a flashy video, that's nothing really to connect anything to. But say you had an account on TikTok or anything else that you were doing something else, totally different topic, and people were interested in that, and then you incorporated Hex. I think that'd be good. And then the giveaways are, that's what I'm thinking too, are like 100% one of the best ways to just get eyeballs and bring new people to it.
I agree. Let's read this comment. Okay, never mind. Okay. I'm of the opinion that we need a focused plan to get the masses on before they stake. For the average person, staking comes after you onboard, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay. So that's in line with what I was going to say too. So, so these giveaways, right? We're giving them liquid Hex. We just need to get it into their hands, right? But you're only giving it to one person out of the, let's say, 1,000 that interact with your ad. So how do you get valuable customers, right? That aren't just in it for the money, but that actually give a shit enough to read about what Hex is. So I'd be skeptical of, well, obviously the click-through rates and the interactions on giveaways are exponentially higher. What are the value of those clicks, right? I would say, hypothesize that they're a little bit lower because the people aren't really in it because they care about Hex at all. They're in it because they want free money. And do we really want those kinds of people that are giveaway hunters, right? Maybe we do. Like, so not every click is worth the same, is what I'm saying.
No, that's true. I think that the people that are like what we see right now, that that what we're offering obviously is what we should be. The pain point is the stresses that, like, you can see Richard in some of his tweets recently hitting on these things too. They're like, oh, you don't like that Robinhood just shut your shit off? Oh, you don't like that all the exchanges are down when you want to trade fucking shitty ass Dogecoin? Like, well, that's because you're not on the best ecosystem around, trustlessly swapping on Uniswap.
I was talking about that goes back to highlighting the pain. So go out there, find existing pain that's right now. Right now, how we capitalize on the Wall Street bets shit is, hey, every interactive brokers, E-Trade and Scottrade, all shut you off. Fuck them. Hex is way better. Hex solves this because you don't have to listen to a middleman by addressing what it's going through right now. That's going to change. It's not always going to be Wall Street bets. How do we get in on this Doge thing? Well, with Hex instead of Doge, you don't have to make an account on Binance. You can just go do it right now.
Yeah. I mean, you could try it. I mean, when Doge was going up through the roof the other day or whatever, yesterday or whatever, you couldn't even get on half of those exchanges. Kraken was down. Fucking, Coinbase had outages and shit. So, like, I mean, that's just sucks.
El Hexidente, it must be a popular draw because we have all kinds of requests to get on the stream here.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny.
What's up, Johnny? How you doing?
What's up, bro?
I had the show up because we were talking about kind of the lottery mentality, and then earlier you guys were talking a little bit about how we need the higher quality people or the people that can afford more to come into Hex versus the people that don't want to spend the gas fees or whatever. There are a couple problems with the giveaways. One is you have to limit how much you're actually giving away, because if you give away too much, then they just dump it on the market, and you have the potential of that happening. People don't tend to value. Richard says this all the time. People don't tend to value something they get for cheap. For God's sakes, Hex is less than a penny right now, and people are still selling it. What the hell are they thinking? Doge or meme coin bumped to 6 cents, and they're giving away their Hex for less than a penny. Are these people mental or what? So this is what happens when you get a good deal. That whole psychological effect. Just because you got a good deal, you don't recognize that you're freaking holding diamonds because you got them at a marble price, right? So there are some problems with the giveaways like that. So one, limit what you give away. Two, damn, now I lost my train of thought.
I'll help you out.
Having some of Big Kirk's wine there.
The thing is, right? If you people who are giving away things, like if it's like 500,000 or a million or 2 million or 5 million hex, I mean, shit, that's like a lot of impact that can happen to the market. But if you're saying like, okay, 50,000 tops, right? Say like $500 worth. That's okay.
Yeah,
well,
right? And that's still enough incentive for people to come along and for you to do those types of giveaways.
well, 50,000 is not $500 now.
Yeah.
50,000 is $500 now. It's not. It's, you know. See, that's the thing when the price moves. If you give away 50,000 and Hex gets a $6 million buy, we're now at $1. So you just gave away $50,000 that could be dumped on the market and drop all that price. So you know, literally, if you're giving away Hex, you're talking about maybe.
I think we've been pretty lucky, or maybe it's not luck. Maybe it's the system is as badass as it is, and people see that. But like most of the people so far outside of the Hexican community that has gotten these large stakes, you know, have staked. You know, I mean, we had a lot. Like we had Crypto Girl, you know, she staked. You know, we had Kenneth got Hex, he staked. You know, we had a bunch of, you know, several people that were outside the community that got Hex in large amounts, million plus, and staked, which was great. I mean, that's you know, so like so far that has worked to our advantage. You know, but I also think that those giveaways were like carefully curated too. You know, they weren't just.
So
I think that argument, the argument of saying, okay, if you gave away 50,000 Hex today, and a 6 million buy comes in, that's a big fucking hypothetical, right? Because what if that doesn't come in? Because at the moment it isn't coming in, so we have to look at what we can physically do.
Yeah.
So that would be my argument to Johnny's stance, which is it's about onboarding. We need to create more interest, more buzz, more people to come in to look at it, eyes on the fucking game. Right, you can hope all the fuck you like that whale's going to come along and put that 6 mil down, but in the current ecosystem, I don't see it.
So I don't think it's worth losing any sleep over how much the Hex giveaway should be, or how much it might be worth someday. Giving away 50,000.
Yeah, and the successful. Just look at the data, like the success we've had on all the other ones, and almost on all the giveaways, they weren't just getting the giveaway. Anyone that was onboarded through a live stream, it was a giveaway in Hex, but you also had the Hexican community that basically came with it along the whole time. So it wasn't just they were by themselves, they got Hex. So a lot of the successful ones were they basically got the community with them because they were there. And then from what I've seen, almost everyone that got to give it to them, that staked it, either became part of the community, made a video about it, said something good, or especially the bigger ones, it seems like they didn't go unnoticed.
Yeah, and so
some of them sold.
Oh yeah. There'll be a lot. I mean, there's gonna be a lot. Some people just don't care, you know. Yeah, they'll sell it on stream, some of them.
But the point is, it's about making eyeballs. So I'm trying to target a completely different audience, right? Completely separated from crypto. Right, and start from the basics. I'm trying to build up a community, brand new from fucking scratch in a totally new area. Build up the trust, build up the reputation, and then fucking red pill them. That's kind of the avenue that I'm going down, and I'm hitting a target audience that I hope, like in the next 6 months to a year, that, you know, it may be at 50 to 100,000 followers. Because if I can get to that target, which is my, you know, I'm setting myself a high target because I'm good at what I do, and I'm trying to learn new skills, new things to adapt in order to create something of more value to the ecosystem, which is what Hex fucking desperately needs. It needs those new people coming in, and that doesn't happen overnight. And you know, the thing is, like, whenever there's anybody new on the scene pumping an advert out, everyone will look at it like suspicious. So you have to gain the trust of a new community to share something to that community, to say, hey, look, you know, you followed me for this period of time. You've seen all my track record of what I've done. Oh, by the way, this is how I make my money. This is what I do. Maybe you check it out. There's also a prize fund that's being created from it. And, you know, I'm offering that to you guys if you do this and do this and do this, right? There's incentives that certain people have to do. Of course, some people will dump when they win, but the rest of them will become educated to what it is that you're doing. And that's the key. It's not about the dump of a small amount of HEX. It's about the education to the next 10,000 people.
Right. So what I got planned out is, you know, I do trade shows and conventions. So what I'm going to do is, you know, there's like 300 vendors or so, all business owners at the conventions and trade shows, not to mention customers and such like that. Once we have the Staker app to where it's up and running, where you just get a wallet, you're just able to instantly download a wallet, and we get that scan to send feature, I'm going to go around and talk to each one of my friends, have them download the app, scan them, gift them. I would rather give the money to someone I know is going to stake it, and they can stake it right there. I can stake it with them right there, and then they'll be able to watch it for the next 6 months and say, hey, watch this. I'm giving it to you now. Watch this for 6 months. Tell me what you think, and I'll check back with you. And I think that is, you know, the convention is like one thing, but, you know, once we have that ability in Staker itself, everybody can go home to their family and their friends. And if, you know, you're going to give away the money, you could pick the people. You kind of groom who you're giving the money to. You are right. We have had really good success with some of the giveaways and such. And I wasn't trying to really kibosh on it. I'm just saying there's some things that we got to think about when we're doing it. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that's exactly right, 100%. I mean, you have to. I mean, and I think that's a great way to do it. I think that. I mean, I'm also into. I'm also into forced target markets. So I think like some of the stuff that I'm working on is about. I mean, I can't. I don't want to get too much into it, but it's about forcing it on people in a way that they don't even recognize that they're like fine, I'll use whatever to get what I want, you know. So yes. That's some other things that I'm working on as well. Yes. Yeah, I mean,
when you say here, download this app and I'll give you $50. You know, hey, download this app, I'll give you $50.
But that's part of it. I mean, I mean, like not the drugs, but download this app. And I'll give you $50. I mean, like, that's what I've been all about from the get go. Is that like I'm happy to. I mean, I'm like when I say like I give like people that I've had to go through my list of people. There's some people, like I said, that I've been waiting for Staker app because they're not the kind of people that I can walk through all these steps. But people that I know that I can walk through all these steps and explain everything to them, I'm more than happy to give those people $100 worth of HEX. And then in front of them, like I've said it before, that like the first thing I make them do is do a 15 years, like a 555 stake. And like then I set their showing point for like, here's where as far out as you can go, and now you got all this time to fill up in between, you know, with whatever you want, you know, and that's worked great for me because I mean most of those people have put considerable amounts more than the $100 that I've given them, and that's worked to my advantage. And I mean, but like again, you have to have somebody that's a willing participant in that, you know. Whereas going forward, I do feel it's like there has to be some kinks ironed out because it's some of the stuff like I said, Staker. You know, only being able to do so many thousand wallets at a time. I mean, if you're doing, you know, large scale things, you know, where you're forcing people to use this for something, then, you know, it has to be pretty fucking seamless. So we're getting there, you guys. But I think, and like as it's being developed, I can't wait to like it's super exciting because that's all. Like there's a lot of ways to push this through to people, whether it be ways that they are explicitly excited to, like you said, putting a pain point on them because, oh, you have to use this because otherwise it sucks. Like the rest of the world sucks, or use this because it's, you know, you're going to get a discount. You're going to get a free, you know, you're going to get a better experience. You know, that's really what it all comes down to.
Well, the seeing is believing concept is great and getting more eyeballs on, but the problem is it's something they really have to look at, right? So if they have the Staker app, then they're able to actually see their money grow and see what it does. But to just say, look, you know, here's the thing, here's the money, now do this, they might not have that chance. Yeah, I mean, they actually have to watch it over time and not, you know.
Oh, I mean, everybody up until Staker app, I've had to like like I said, all this. I've looked through my list of people that I know, and like it's only people that I've onboarded so far are people that I can honestly interact with regularly. Because like I know lots of people that I don't want to fucking interact with regularly, that I would love to onboard them to this shit. But like, do I want a call all the time when the price goes this or that, or there's a no ID transaction thing that's popping up on MetaMask, and they need somebody to figure out how to change networks.
There's the concept of the ideal.
Yes.
There's the concept of the ideal client, right? Like you don't want just any Joe Schmo off the street, right? It's okay to say no to some people if they're not ready for it. And that's kind of what SkiCat does too. SkiCat identifies the ideal client profile, and he goes out there and selectively does giveaways.
Yeah.
So the type of giveaway that SkiCat does is, I think, the optimal giveaway. So rather than shotgun for views that are a bunch of schmucks, essentially, no offense, you highly target and you hone in on them, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. That's true. That's why like I said, of all of his, the conversion rate on his giveaways have been fantastic. Fucking fantastic. So
and that's
got bungled a couple times.
Well, I mean, that's gonna happen. That's the nature of the beast there. So but it is an interesting, I guess, part of marketing and conversion, as you guys were talking about, because I'm in marketing, and the difference between something like ads on social media versus Google ads and the conversion rate is so much different. So basically for social media advertising, in a sense, I mean, I'm talking very broad terms here, you're putting your ads out in front of people who kind of match your criteria, demographic, whatever, versus say a Google search ad or something like that, to where they're actively searching your service or your product. That customer or user is pre-qualified in a sense. They are actively seeking you. Cryptocurrency searches aren't, that coffee, it probably has.
No, that's the thing, man. No, that's the thing. Yeah. Cryptocurrency searches are not really that hot. I mean, sure, Bitcoin's hot at the moment, but in the terms of actual what is trending, it's a piece of shit, really, in what is the market. So it's like you have to tap into it from a different avenue. And then just kind of sleight of hand, put it in front of people's eyes, just say, hey, look at this a little bit, and then go back to what you're talking about before, just to give that subliminal effect, right? Just to sow that seed. That's how I'm seeing it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's so powerful, because you're building rapport, like you're building trust and rapport. There's a thing I was talking about. Me and Johnny were talking about it with even like TikTok, because you can make Hex TikToks or Hex whatever, but you can get caught in an echo chamber. So especially I think we're maxed out now to where now we go to these other places, basically build trust and rapport and a base of people that don't even know anything about crypto, and then bring those people after they trust, rapport, the whole thing, then you bring them into this amazing thing, however that happens.
And that's a long process. That's a whole new wave that needs to be taught into the ecosystem. But, we got so many people here that are ready to absorb that and, share the information, share the growth, and then they'll be onboarded. And then, that's the thing. They don't need to go anywhere else to see anything else, because it's, hey, here's a staker app, hey, download it, send something in, set your stake, and then here's the community, listen to the updates, and go back to whatever else you're doing in the rest of your life. Watching the TikToks, watching the social medias of, your favorite shows. And that's it. That's all there is that needs to be. And they're diversified into what is cryptocurrency seamlessly.
Yep.
And I think that's a perfect message. I mean, instead of staring at screens, and we know all the catchphrases and everything like that, we've heard time after time. It's like, okay, well, we know what those phrases are. Just how can we implement that in a way for a broad audience to understand and be like, oh, well, no shit. This is way better than staring at a screen or, trying to time freaking Dogecoin.
Yeah, I've been trying to suck the lore out of the whole trader mentality, where people think that trading is glamorous. And that's what I've been trying to do with my TikToks, is like, look, and then that's exactly what I've been doing. Don't be staring at a screen. Don't be jumping in on the hype. This is something different. This is saving for your future, So I'm trying to target a different market in that way. But again, I'm just one person, and I just now started the TikTok. So, I don't know how that's going to take off or what kind of impact that's going to have. But any angle that we have is a good angle,
right?
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
time angle is so powerful. And I mean, if it's conveyed in the right way, it's like, you know, a light bulb goes off and it's like, okay, how much time am I spending doing all this other nonsense where I could let my money work for me? That's the dream, right? For everybody, it's just to have income. You don't have to, you know, work or pay attention to all this stuff and get paid interest.
But it's difficult though, because you don't want to get categorized in all the other get rich quick crap. You have to try to distinguish yourself that, look, this is not actually a get rich quick scheme. Keep on moving if that's what you're looking for.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't say anything about get rich quick. Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm just saying it's hard because it seems like the sheep mostly want the get rich quick scheme, and we're not marketing to the sheep because we're being honest about our product, so that's what we're kind of not marketing to them. So I don't know.
Yeah,
well,
they have it.
Just as a side note, I was going to say, Johnny, TikTok and your creativity, they go together, man. So I'm excited to see what you come up with there.
Just a lot of it in their brains is like, say you're scrolling through TikTok and they see something about passive income or something like that. Like their brain, they're thinking entertainment, like memes or something else. So, they aren't thinking, okay, go to, hex.com, then these whole steps. So, yeah, that's why it's powerful.
Shall I tell you something that I'm hearing through the grapevine, right? And this is through TikToks, this is through Instagrams, okay? And this comes through a relationship that I have with someone else. And this is one of those people that consume a lot of social media, right? A lot of TikTok, a lot of how do I describe it? They are a consumer of this type of thing.
You're talking mainly apps?
Yeah, just basically they are absorbed by the social media aspect. You have to have good photos, you have to have good pictures, you have to have good social media presence, right? There's a lot of people who are sucked into that type of world where you have to look like you're doing something or you're having a good life, even if your life is a complete piece of shit, right? As long as you perceive it as you're successful, you're happy, everything's fine. It's like, you do your selfie, you take a little smile, and then you're straight back to misery after you've posted it. That type of attitude, right? Anyway, so I've heard through some of these people that there are people out there who are still targeting Bitcoin referrals where, hey, this Bitcoin thing, do you know about this Bitcoin thing? Like, this is like the lingo going through in their circles, right? This is like, we're well advanced at the moment. And they're just starting to catch wind of, hey, you can put like, $1,000 or $5,000, $10,000 into this thing, and they will pay you back money out of it. And like, these people are talking about it, and I'm like, okay, you're talking to SDA here, right? It's a fucking scam, right? And they're like, no, it's like they're making money from it. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're like, you really don't know who I am. But it's like, this is going through tens of thousands of people right now. That is what is happening in social media. There are people being fucking taken in these basically BitConnect type moves, right? Yeah. Put in 5,000, you're going to get back a dividend daily, weekly, yearly, whatever the fuck, right? And this is going through social media because they don't fucking know any better. That is the audience that can be educated. And seriously, wave that is going through social media right now. So it's like you don't even really have that much time to waste. Every day that goes by is a day that these people are just going to lose their money, right? So it's like you're almost being a gallant saver of these people who don't know any better, and they're being they're being taken advantage by all these criminals, all these fake entities who are just trying to scam, right? So it's like we actually can do a greater good for everybody, and it benefits all of us, it benefits them, it benefits everything for the longer duration. But it's like it's so hard to break through that social media.
Well, yeah, being honest is the hard part because we're trying to be honest about it. We're not making promises of quick wealth. We're talking about saving over time. We're not really pushing it in the way that they push it because they don't care whether or not they get these people wrecked, right? And that's the difference. But people are drawn to that lie to me. They want to be lied to. They want to be told stories and hopium and BS, and they don't want to realize that things take time. And time is the most valuable asset that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it's going to be powerful though when Hex does reach that virality, because you see things like Doge and just how, they could blow up so quick, but they're on, down the road what's going to happen. But with Hex, it's like, it's only going to get better as it gets down the road. So, whenever it reaches that point, it's going to
I got a strong opinion that Hex is actually going to be completely counter to the rest of the market, purely because of how it is set up. And I think a lot of the...
So you're talking like, when the cycle's over, Hex holds up. Yeah,
exactly.
Decorrelated.
Right.
He's right.
I think we, unfortunately, we have a potential like during this next year to 18 months where, I don't want to say anything too much, but I'm a very
Silver's still buying.
I'm a deep thinker on a lot of things, a lot of different aspects, right? And I can swing every single damn way, and depending on because I fall victim to emotion too, right? I'm fucking not robotic, I've got real human arms. You saw one of them in one of the videos. I updated the tweet earlier today that yes, I do have a real fucking arm. You guys saw it.
Yep, saw that.
Thank you, ball, and somebody else's arm.
And no, I think like the time that we will really shine probably isn't quite yet, and it's gonna be in the bear cycle. Mm-hmm. That's the time that the fireworks will really come out, because I think we're gonna outshine stablecoins. I think we're gonna blow stablecoins into the fucking distance, right? And we're just
why tether up when you can actually earn interest while you're waiting for the
interest and keep growing. And then because that metric is taking place, it creates more of a buy pressure into it as well. Mm-hmm. So it's like, wow, like that's down the road type game plan. But in the meantime, you still got to get the adoption, you still got to get the interest, you still got to get the social medias going, because if it is only an echo chamber at that time, it's like, well, you're only 10,000 people.
I mean, this is the time, really. What this is the time is, this is like our chance to offer a lot of people like lifelines, because that time is going to come. And sure, you can de-risk, in the stable coins, but there's going to be a way better option, and like it, getting it out to people is like going to be, will be very helpful to those that are paying attention. They'll be saved, saved from the worst stretches of the bear market.
Dude,
interesting either way, though, right?
Dude, I mentioned this in the last stream when I came on. It's going to be super interesting to see these whales and some of these bigger players, because it's a lot easier for them to get yield right now. So when there is a bear market, they're going to be fighting for yield, and Hex is going to be a great place.
Now, Silver, I think that big stake that is out there is going to seriously run up the share price, and I think that whale that's going to seriously run up the share price is probably going to stock up on shares before that stake ends. How about that? What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you one other aspect if you like.
Oh,
sure.
We'd like.
Oh yeah,
please do.
I think he's going to buy up all the people that are going to front run selling him.
That's what I'm thinking too, man.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. Yeah, that's a nice goalpost there, and then after that, share rate.
It's a short squeeze, dude. It's a freaking
that's what I was going to say.
Is
It's just like if you're a big organization that's going to buy spot something, why wouldn't you take out a long on it too? So if you know that you're going to restake that, then why not buy more ahead of time when the price is low?
So here's the thing, right? That share price has been set already. that whale has a long ass position out into the future of a fantastic position. You know, that's set. That's not changing. He's done the shorter play now. It's just like when it finally clicked inside my head, I was like, okay, you just fucking nailed it. And you know, people said to me, don't actually publicize this, because I said it to a few people already, and they were like, don't share it, because you don't want them to have to change their plan. Because if you make something public, they will have to adapt.
Yeah.
And that might not be such a good move in the long term of Hex. So I was like, fuck it. I want to be recognized for making that statement. and I'm not that motherfucker with that amount. So it's like, I'm good. And it's like, if anything, sure, the whale's not going to end up with such a position that he had or will have, but everybody else is going to have to scramble to a new position, right? So it's like, hey, I gave everyone a little bit of a heads up that this is a potential that might happen. And I think it's quite likely, because why would someone, you know, realistically, why would someone dump $1.5 billion Hex when they've got such a substantial position out into the future?
Yeah.
Why would they?
He's got
They'll
one in
destroy it.
November.
And that guy doesn't dump anyway. You've
exactly.
did all that analyzation on his.
I've said about that. His other accounts, he's held them for a year. The prices have gone down like 80, 90%. He's held it strong hands. So the guy, and he's still actively buying, right? Still actively buying those other coins, those other tokens, as well as a recent buy, obviously back into Hex as well. Only very trivial, but it's like it's indicating the incentive.
Yeah.
I'm guys, I'm still here. That's what he said. Guys, I'm here. I got this.
While
when it comes down to that, when it comes down to those market lows, comes close to where he first bought it. You know, he's happy to defend.
Well, the share rate does go up there, Silver, because when he cashes in, it's going to pump up the share rate. So the smart play would be to buy before that stake comes off. So he would wait for everybody to try to front run him to dump. He would buy that up. He could set it at today's share rate before the new share rate comes in and relock it. And nobody is getting back in at the share rate they got in. No freaking way they're getting back in at the share rate they got. They are short squeezed to hell.
Why do you think? Yes, why do you think his is the last stake in that run up?
Oh, because he knows what he's doing.
No, because he was the one who set his position, and everybody else set their position based upon his.
He was the market maker.
He was the market maker. He was the stake maker. Right? So everybody is front running him with their stakes. They looked at it, the other big fish, and big fish always get eaten by big fucking whales. Right? That's the rules, okay? Okay.
Oh, it's true.
Well, while you're on here, Silver, and we are talking about that mid-March big stake. What I've been anxious to actually to get your take on this. The low liquidity situation coupled with that, what do you see going on? It's kind of like low volume ping pong right now. I mean, not much moves that price up and down, and we're kind of just bouncing around.
Yeah, I got thrown quite a bit by that liquidity issue. I had a few questions that needed to be answered, and obviously a lot of that liquidity is kind of staked into the liquidity provider from the big players, from the big, not necessarily the OA, but potentially, of the same nature. And there's, I think there was a tweet put out the other day of Bamboo Relay, for example. Bamboo Relay, you'll be able to view limit orders that are set into the market, and you can see all the diminishing values of how much physical ether is placed on bids. going down in price. You guys familiar with that? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, you can total that up. And like I say, I absorbed enough information just to be like, okay, this whole place needs a bit of cool down. We need a little bit of time to pass. I'll get on with what I'm doing. So I got to a point where it's like, okay, there was about, I don't know, maybe 1,800 ether in buy volume inside of those orders, staggered down, which was the released liquidity from the main Uniswap pool, right? So there was still, I don't know, maybe 600K US dollar worth of ether still in the Uniswap. But I'm not an expert on how the Uniswap system kind of works, because you have a lot of buy and sells that take place which are not actively inside of either side of the buy or sell wall, right? It's active trade and taking place at the same time. So it's like you cannot really quantify based upon liquidity that is in the order as to exactly how much liquidity there even is. Does that make sense?
There could be a buy wall setting down there that protects the price, and that's what was hinted at, that the liquidity actually, some of that was pooled
to a degree.
Yeah,
to a degree, but I mean, you can calculate it, right? I mean, I like I just said, like 1,800 Ethereum is sitting in the buy wall in diminishing values, but it's only in like 10 ether increments in certain like 0.01, 0.011, 0.0112, in various staggered forms all the way through, all the way down to basically zero, which would mean you'd have to have a big ass fucking dump to take all that ether out from that buy wall. But there's going to be a lot of support that comes in from people who are just like, oh my God, I just saw a dip, fucking I'm buying, right? And that's unquantifiable Ethereum that would come into the marketplace, which we can't see because it's not in an order book and because of this whole new system, which is not like the traditional. It's complicated. So I don't put a lot into my research into what this damn order book is, what this liquidity stuff is, because it changes on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
And,
what do you think?
And like you say, some guy can just jump in with like $1 million, just boom, buy. And then the whole thing changes, right? The whole thing move because the liquidity is so small in terms of things, it doesn't take a lot to shift. So
no, it's the perfect storm for what's coming in March.
the whole balance of the metric is, it comes down to the stakes and the supply and what is end stake in. And this is like, there's only about 3 metrics that you have to watch. Okay, one's the liquidity, one's the end stakes, and the other is like who's sitting with cash on the side. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of people sitting with cash on the side. The traders, for example, a lot of fucking traders are just waiting, because it's very easy for them just to, get a sniff of something. The market starts to move, they buy in, and they just quickly make 100 ether when the market just fucking just screams ahead and someone does a 300K buy. But the question is, I don't think there's going to be that much volume of buy anymore because liquidity is so small, and that reduces the whale buys. I don't know what you guys think about that, because it is much tighter. It's much more an incentive for big volumes of cash to come in.
Yeah.
Unless it's OTC, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking about, the liquidity. That's what I was going to ask you about, what you think about the liquidity moving over to the USDC pair, because the lower that Ethereum pair gets, it's just the ratio. It only takes smaller amounts of money to ratchet the price, but it also can be volatile too. So, what do you think about the USDC?
The whales are setting the price, and the whales are setting the share rate. So when everyone keeps watching the HEX price, and they shouldn't. They should be watching the shares. If you notice, HEX price is down right now, but shares are still way up there. Okay, when that price moves and that multiplicity from the hex multiplied by the shares, that price move is significant. It could cost you 1 ETH to get 1 T share if that price moves, you know, and the whale will be setting that. When they move in, they will be setting that. And if they've got future stakes out 15 years, they're ensuring that their price is going up, you know?
Yeah, and Steph brings up a point here. I had it up there earlier. He actually has a couple comments, but it goes back to actually what Richie Rich brought up last week, and we were talking about this low liquidity. And it's like, well, isn't it a big deterrent for people who want to actually put, real money in, not, a couple bucks or something like that? Because if you want to buy in size, we have, a few users who want to invest from our app with a lot of money, but the slippage is disgusting right now. And I can agree with that. It's like, man, there's no perfect situation ever, especially in markets, but it's your danged if you do, danged if you don't kind of thing.
Well, if you're paying an average price it sucks because it's all about perception too. Yeah. Perception, because like in my mind, anything under a penny is a great deal. So if I have to pay an average price between 0.8 and 0.9 of a cent because I'm making big buys, then so be it, because I think it's still a great deal. Now, because I understand that, like Johnny says, I have diamonds, not marbles. Now that not a lot of people don't understand that. They see a 30% or a 20% or even 12, even 8% slippage move, and they're like, "Fuck this game." And I can understand that. I can understand that now. What that just means, I guess, Steph, is you're gonna have to code limit orders into Staker app, I guess. So it'll be easier to code limit orders, right? I think that'll make it easier for them to.
So do you? Someone's like, damn it, that's something else I gotta watch. Freaking code limit orders in Staker app, you bastards.
I'm just playing around.
That's in the premium version, in case you're wondering. Right?
Cool. I'm not saying you got to, but.
Hey, I was gonna ask, is the slippage that bad on the USDC side too?
Yeah, it's all the same shit. So
see, there's another thing too. Is like Steph that's how much I appreciate like the hard work and dedication to the community that he's willing to provide. It's like he's willing to provide liquidity as a business. I already know that, like we know from Steph's previous tweets that like has been a liquidity provider and seen value in that in the past. And man, I can feel some that there's I know that there's some other Hexicans out there that are looking at shark wallets and dolphin wallets out there that if that could provide liquidity and there is incentive to do it. Uniswap is now at market highs, and they're probably going to eventually do other airdrops. I think they've got 4 years of drops to eventually do. So. I'm not saying to but like if everybody has that problem, hey, we liquidity sucks. Like, just like we all are marketing Hex as best as we can. We could also all provide some liquidity if we want.
Let me jump in. Let me just quickly say, I'm glad Steph's here listening. So I want to say this to you, Steph. Very happy that you're going to be introducing part of the funds that the Staker app is going to be generating back into liquidity, because I think that is so critical, and that's going to be the foundation that kind of kicks us out of this situation that I think a lot of us face and what we're feeling about certain things now. And it gives us back like the sovereignty, the control to a degree through the Staker app, where we have the liquidity going back in, because as it grows and those profits are being put back in, it's like anybody that is creating social media presence out there, which is what I am trying to also do myself, it will indirectly benefit everything longer term. And it's just like, okay, it starts to make it more fulfill. The only problem that might happen for the short term is that people just keep on fucking cashing out. But that's only like a year 2 type problem. And then once you break through that phase and you get beyond that, then it starts to materialize into a foundation. a much more absorbable foundation where it doesn't matter too much what happens because the onboarding is much more relevant and is creating replacement into what is being withdrawn. It's like, I don't want to use a certain word, but basically the whole world operates on that type of system anyway. Begins with P. I'm sure you guys know, but it's like, it kind of is what it is. It can work beautifully as long as there is the injection of new to replace the old. It's like that. That's how the world operates, right? The only reason like people are able to draw down on their pensions is because new people are coming in. But there comes a problem of demographics over time where there's more old people than young people. And the young people generally just not working, and they can't pay for the baby boom era to pay their fucking pensions. And it's like, that's why the whole world is going to fucking collapse, because there isn't enough stimulus to fucking inject into it without creating inflation. So it's like, you know what I mean, guys, right?
Oh yeah, in a world full of waves, I mean, like, we're always trying to find some sort of median balance, but like we're gonna be at one bend or pull, and there's gonna be winners and losers amongst either side of it. I mean, that's what we're gonna see.
And those whales are watching you about those bleeding accounts. They're subscribed. They're on your premium. They're waiting for you to say, "Hey, these guys are empty, Silver."
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in really quick. We're running into Hexo. Looks like he's streamed from somewhere weird, but everybody just head over and crash his stream and just say hello and all that stuff. I don't want to like lose our awesome guest because I did not expect this, but everybody, I'm hopping in right now. I'm going to say hello to Hexo, but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want to say thank you to Steph and Firebun for sure, because none of this stuff would be possible without them.
Yep.
There's two awesome guys. And then to Big Kirk's point, if we think liquidity is an issue, we could come up with some type of consensus and all provide liquidity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it's incredible that, like, I mean, you're totally right, Silver. Like, if they were inputting liquidity from the business back into to supporting Hex, I mean, like, they're already doing that in the sense that they've created the referral program, which is a necessary piece of really rebuilding the community. I mean, the community from it got the kickstart that it needed, but it has to be done by the community. And then the way that they're doing it is fantastic, So like that, I mean, yeah, if they're also if like they like spearhead the incentive for other people to provide liquidity, that would be fantastic. I think it'd be something that more people would be willing to do post March 15th.
Yeah.
But we'll see how But I think that like some sort of initiative or some sort of that I think that would be. It could be, and Richard even mentioned it in a tweet that, I don't know if it was a tweet or on a stream, that like liquidity providers overall, if you'd provided liquidity for Hex, for the entirety of the past year, you were price positive. You made money.
Well, yeah, and a lot of people don't know how easy it is to actually provide liquidity. Like on Uniswap, you just have an equal amount of a pair, so you have Ethereum and Hex or USDC and Hex, and you just provide, a certain amount on each end, on the Hex end, on the ETH end, and you make a little bit of a return from that, and you're helping the pool, the community.
I hate to do this, guys, but I am getting the calls from the wife. My little ones need me. This has been super awesome. I hope you guys continue into the wee hours. But this is I'll have to catch y'all on the replay in a little bit.
All good. Discourse has a double show tonight. They start at 8, so we can't go too long. But yeah, I'm watching Hexo too.
Well,
so.
if I put these kids to bed, then maybe you'll see me up goofing around on there too.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bro.
Yeah, man. Take care.
All right, catch y'all later.
See you, bro.
Later.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, Silver, have you been? I haven't seen Ryan either for a little bit. Is he doing all right?
Ryan I think he was at the gym earlier or something like that. I saw some message from him, and
Okay.
he's doing good. He's settling down in Colombia. I think he might be there permanently now. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I've seen him down there. The pictures and videos and stuff seem pretty cool.
No, he really inspired me a bit more to make my other channel too, to start setting up things, because it's it's similar in nature. It's a bit different, but I think it's an important outreach that a lot of people can do into different avenues, right? That's the key. And also move out of your comfort zones, right? Everybody that does stuff inside of Hex, it's like, okay, Hex, you can talk about Hex. Can you branch out and do something different? Can you change your game? Can you entice new people to make new platforms, to make new places? Like, it's hard as fuck. Like, seriously, it is such a competitive space. YouTube, social medias, Instagrams, there's so many other people dominating those spaces that, I mean, I'll be blunt right now. I've learned about stuff in the last 2 weeks, and bear in mind, I've had a YouTube channel for 3 or 4 years, which is, I've got up to 10K subscribers. It was 15 at one point, had a bit of fallout, and back down at 10. Cool. Okay. Still good.
Was that like a post-Hex fallout?
No. It was a 2017 fallout.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then here I am. But it's like, most of it is like, a lot of drama is just noise, right? A lot of life is just noise.
Lots
and it doesn't
noise.
actually, it doesn't mean much. And people are very short-sighted in a lot of things that they do. What am I trying to get at? So, okay, here, let's go back to what I was going to talk about. So, 2 or 3 weeks I've been spent on learning stuff about YouTube that I've never fucking learned about before in my life, right? Serious keywords, serious like cross promotion, linking descriptions, linking keywords, finding good keywords, finding good titles. These are things that I have never learned before. Yeah, I should have. Because in crypto, you don't need it so much, because all you got to do is put in bloody Bitcoin into the title and that's it, right? You're kind of going to link through. But in the other social media aspects, that don't work. Like, you need to break into not only a keyword that works, but a keyword that isn't highlighted by a far more prominent channel. Because that prominent channel will dominate you and kick you to the bottom of the fucking league.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's when I see people like making big hashtags, that make a bunch of hashtags, like they're trying to get into other algorithms. You don't ever see them dominate. They just get overlooked.
Right. Yes. So you basically have to kind of pick a few and try to go with a few that you do and make it in that aspect. And anyway, it's just real interesting. It's like a complete fucking science. It's literally like alchemy of fucking
They
YouTube.
keep changing the rules on you too. That's what's even worse, is they keep changing the rules, and they'll penalize you for this and they'll penalize you for that. Like Silver said, if you have too many words and get penalized for having too many words, it's a pain. SEO optimization is a freaking nightmare, and they change the rules.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of my business, and I'm glad they changed the rules for part of it, because if everybody knows the rules, then they're just going to get manipulated, and that's what's happened. Every single rule or algorithm change that they put out there, people are smart.
There's always someone on the inside that knows the rules quicker than they change sometimes.
Well, yeah, that, or people figure them out. I always liken it to like NASCAR or auto racing. It's like, they'll find ways to cheat and bend the rules, and then they'll have to make new ones. And that's exactly how the whole internet marketing SEO landscape is.
So you're pretty up to date with that stuff, Cabana.
Most of on the SEO side, crypto and paid advertising is way too annoying for me for all the bans and workarounds, but I haven't actually put the time into it like you're doing right now with what you're doing. So I do want to get that time to do that. I've just been thankfully way busy with actual clients. So my Hex energy is pretty much Friday's happy hour for now.
Okay, cool. No, it's just something I'd never learned before. And it's like, it's actually critical in getting out there and getting further reach. So yeah, hopefully I can figure it out. I think I'm making ground.
Yeah, and each platform is different too. So YouTube has its own tricks. I hate using that word, but for the masses and
what it is. Yeah.
Versus paid search versus organic search. There's all different tricks to each trade. If it were easy, anybody would do it. So it's definitely worth learning.
Oh, definitely. Hey, real quick, David Feder asked a question in the chat, and he was asking, why would it make sense for someone to provide liquidity and not just stake your hex? So I guess from like a monetization standpoint, if that's what you cared about, you'll make more money staking probably. But I guess it would come to the point where it would be more like if you just wanted to help the community, then you could provide liquidity. So you would basically take a little bit of a hit, I guess, on your price appreciation or performance, just to help a little bit. And but if it's 1%, 5% of your stack, it's not a huge
I think
thing.
there might come a time where it might be like a good message to put out to guys. Say, look, it might be beneficial for everybody to put in 1% of their stack into liquidity, right? As a consensus across the whole ecosystem. Because then you're sharing the burden of everything, but you're still making it more absorbable to everybody else who wants to come in, get out, come in, get out. You're riding those waves ups and downs with just a small percentage, right? And for the early guys, it's not such a big deal to do that, but I'm very strong on those that look at it from the outside. They will look at the liquidity and go like, I don't know. It's a bit small. So it's like you can correct that quite easily by just saying, all right, we'll put tweets out. Everybody, just put in 1%. Just do it. Just fucking do it.
Yep.
Right? And then we've just added like 3 million, 4 million, whatever, between ourselves. And that is being absorbed by all of us. And that changes the position from where it is now to doubling.
Exactly.
And that's huge. That's huge because that completely changes the whole metric.
And that's a wonderful part of the game theory, right? I mean, everybody talks about price and timing of buys, but being a liquidity provider now, it's just another piece to the puzzle.
Because the lower it is, also when anybody gets that incentive, like, hey, if you were to have that emotional response now, like I want to do something for Hex, I want to offer liquidity, right? Yeah. You have to be on that receiving end of those movements. And those movements are going to be pretty violent down at this level. But you can reduce that volatility by doing that step. So the more that we can reduce that volatility as well, albeit there are going to be other players in the space that want that fucking volatility because they want to shake out a lot of those positions. And a lot of those positions are going to want to cash out on your liquidity.
That's why I think the timing is so interesting.
Right.
That we have this big goalpost mid-March and the liquidity has been zapped for, lack of a better term. And it seems entirely too coincidental that this situation is happening. And, it's the clock's ticking. So, I mean, there's only 6 weeks left, so we'll have a decision point.
I think like April, like maybe we can, come back to this topic and say whether we think it might be beneficial that people just throw down a bit into liquidity, just to because it's I think it's important to be inside of the rankings. I've had conversations with prominent people, and they seem to think that it's not so critical. But to me, it kind of is. Like to be on page 1, for example, of liquidity on Uniswap, kind of a big deal to me.
Yeah, about you guys. People see it, but I was under the impression after listening to Richard and some of the other guys that the liquidity that the low liquidity was basically on purpose.
Totally. No, it's totally
Yeah.
just to create.
Yeah,
Not just
More,
it's
more
totally
bump.
by design.
That's
Yeah.
it. Just more.
yeah.
bump.
So, but I think some people see it as like a big issue if they don't understand the metrics of how the pools work.
Yeah, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because for those outside of our ecosystem looking in, they don't know about all the T shares and stuff, and so all they see is the price chart and the price of Hex. So yeah, they obviously don't want to have too much slippage against themselves.
Vince, look at it this way, yo. Like, okay, all the efforts that I'm going to be doing, right? Maybe I reach 100 people, maybe I reach 1,000, maybe I reach 10,000. Yeah. Let's say one of them has $2 million that they want to, they're just fucking sitting there, right? They don't know what to do with it, right? Blow, coke, all those, Lambos, those sort of things, right? And they're like, I want to do something different, man. I'm tired of this shit. So, hey, what's this Hex thing? Oh yeah, but the liquidity, man. It's like, I'm going to move the market like 80%. Right? Yeah. No, fuck that. But if I'm only going to move it like 10%, fuck it, I'll give it a go. Yeah. Boom, that's like fucking 2 more million inside of the pot. Yeah. So is it better to get that in, and then someone with that kind of value, they're going to be able to stake it longer term, because that's serious ball of money. But those people who are in that position, if it's where it is right now, they'll be like, they're just going to pass. They're not going to get involved. Yeah. And that's opportunity lost. Right? And that's a problem to me. Yeah. My personal problem. But I don't know a lot about this liquidity stuff. Like I don't really understand it to the level that I need to, because it's it's hyper complex. All these little intricate things, and I know deep down is to flush out what is taking place right now. If you remove the option for people to sell, they're not going to sell. They're going to restake. Just fundamentals. Yeah. So that's why it is the way it is. But is it going to be reintroduced? Well, let's assume it's not. How does the game change after March if it's not reintroduced, for example? Because where are those funds right now? They're in partly USDC and they're in Ethereum. Well, Ethereum is actually probably doing better right now.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say,
why are they going to move it back? They're not.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can send you. I have actually the ratio for the Uniswap liquidity pools. It's literally like you just do so it tells you if you take out, if there's this much ETH, if you take out, like if you double the ETH, or if you take away half the ETH, the price moves, a certain percent. I could send it to you if you really.
No, it's cool. I think it's all good and well saying, all right, if X amount gets put in, it's going to double, it's going to triple, it's going to quadruple.
Yeah.
Well, look what happened New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
It fucking skyrocketed. What happened? It got fucking sold right the fuck up, straight back down again.
Yeah.
Well, what's going to change on the next cycle when someone puts in $1 million? It's going to sell right the fucking straight back down again.
Yeah.
It's unsustainable. So the only way is steady increase. Not by the one whale, but by the 10,000 small that put in $200.
Yeah, I guess I would just wonder if this liquidity provider, because whoever they are is probably smart if they aren't putting it back in for a reason, because obviously they probably have the funds to do it. So, kind of wondering, what made them think of that level and why that level for that period of time.
Well, I have my opinions, and they will stay my opinions.
or maybe you're paywalling that behind your Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon. You got to pay for that one.
I got my opinions. Seriously, guys, I don't really have much time to do anything Hex at the moment, because it's like Hex is doing its thing. It's got another 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and that gives me time just to beat the fuck out of what I'm doing, and hopefully get to a level where I'm good. In case you're wondering, I got 31 videos set, done.
Nice.
31. And I reckon I have at least 150 in total.
Oh yeah.
So
that's gonna be good.
But it's unrelated. But it's all about giving me a percentage of chance to red pill. So build trust, build community, build that, and then how do I do what I do? Well, I do it through Hex. Hex is my life support system. Pays me my interest, pays me my support for life. You guys can live like this, you guys can do this, you just gotta buy into the system. So that's kind of like how I think is the only way to really grow what we have, is to remarket it, to rebrand it, to re-show it to everybody, and show how people are successful and living life through it. Because without that, it's like, I mean, if you've got people buying in, cashing out, they're just buying in, cashing out. If you've got people buying fucking Lambos, it's like they're just fucking buying Lambos, they've cashed out. It's like, it's unsustainable. You got to show like a steady existence, a steady life, the passive lifestyle that you can live through this.
I'm sorry, because I was out. Are you talking about the staking aspect and locking up coins versus kind of like the trading side? Because I think that's huge, and that's the key right there.
Well, what I'm noticing is a lot of people are identifying there's this thing called Bitcoin. Okay, you laugh, you smirk, whatever, but they're noticing that this thing, and actually maybe they should buy a little bit, but they don't really know too much about it. So it's a case of like,
it's the gateway drug.
Don't get involved with that. Get this thing, it earns interest, and you can live your life like this. Okay, and you don't have to worry about all these fundamental things that people fall into with that type of thing. Live through the experiences that someone else has learned. Learn by somebody else's mistakes. Don't make those mistakes again and again and again, which is what most people do. Obviously, the conversion rates are going to be low, but you can only but fucking try, right? And if you try and you put your energy and your heart and your soul and your genuine nature into it, that's all that you can do as somebody inside of the Hex ecosystem. And that's why I feel strongly about what I'm working on, because it's like, this is a greater goal. It's actually not just about me. What I'm doing is to benefit myself, but what I'm also doing is to benefit everybody else inside of Hex right now who's listening, who's out there. And there's not so many of us, but it's like that will cement yourself as a trustworthy element inside of that ecosystem. You will get trust, and it's a case of building trust inside of something else. I've already got trust inside of Hex, right? People trust me. They trust what I say. So it's like you just rebuild that into something else, and then rebuild that into something else. You keep moving through marketplaces, and you build up a big social presence, right? To be honest, Richard, he hasn't got a big social presence. That's not enough, right?
No,
he's substantial compared to all of us. But to be honest, like, there's a lot of us who can actually outdo his social presence. I believe I can. I won't have his intellect. I won't have his smarts. I'm not as fucking good as he is with crypto. But it's like, you can do more than just that. You can actually get trust to a different element, and people will just fucking buy into that anyway, right? So it's like, that for me is the value prospect. How can I spend my time? What's more important, that I spend a week building one spreadsheet to show you guys what was the buys and sells,
which I appreciate, by the way,
or is it more important that I attempt to go get another 10,000 people, another 20,000 people, right?
Yeah, I agree with you.
No question.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing right now, I think, is because especially with the community the way it is, and the way that it's been marketed so far. I mean, that's always going to be there. That's not going to go away. So now we should go into these other avenues, completely unrelated, not even having anything to do with Hex. And then because I remember I watched one of your videos, Silver, like 5 years ago, and it was on like geopolitics or something.
Wow.
So I mean, even back then, you found your way to my algorithm somehow, and that's how I was already. Then you started making Hex stuff, and I was already on your page. So it was just kind of weird how that happened.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
What do you guys think about like? I know we've seen a little bit of it with the sports stuff and the soccer games, and I think it's just really the effect of the either a logo or someone wearing like hex.com or something on these where eyeballs get to it is always a good avenue to take too. Like what about Cabana? We could wrap a NASCAR a Hex wrap.
Hey man, you could get some of these races for cheap. I know that. So yeah, Daytona 500.
I don't know about the.
It's a little late for that, but yeah.
You'll be getting some. I don't know. You could onboard probably a couple of them.
So I got experience inside of Dash, right? And Dash were one of the sponsors for like one of the Red Bull planes that were flying for the Red Bull stuff. Yeah, when they're doing somewhere in the US. I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah. they were sponsored. And that was quite a big sponsorship deal. Basically didn't do shit. Right?
Yeah, I didn't hear about it until now.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
So it's like that shit don't work. There's even Dash was like sponsoring MMA fighters, like some of the biggest MMA fighters in the race.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week. Yeah. Litecoin did one last year.
Yeah, so it's like
they did UFC.
Yep. I just think it's basically people look beyond sponsorships. They kind of like they're conditioned to seeing a brand name on a shirt and they don't even look at the shirt. So it's like you have to be doing something different now, which is why I think to be doing your own social media platforms to build a following based upon who you are, what you have to say, what it is that you're doing. People follow you, they trust you, they hear your voice, they look to you for what they consume.
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
The power. Then you get that voice.
And with this, the message is so important rather than just like being a meme coin or buy this, it'll go up. It's the understanding of, perhaps a betterment of your lifestyle and the freeing of your time and all of these positive messages that if put into the right 30 seconds or something like that, or 60 seconds, depending upon the platform that it's on, could be quite powerful. I think it's just unlocking that concise message. Yeah. And once that's done, I think sky's the limit.
It's crazy, man, because it's like, if I have somebody's time, I can convert them through. But it's getting that time. And it's like, I don't know how to condense what I want to say to somebody in 30 seconds or a minute. It's like, I need an hour or 2 or 5 days, right? All the things that I do, all my videos are long as fuck. People like, the attention spans are less than like fucking 1 minute. It's like, shit, I cannot condense stuff into 1 minute. I cannot condense it into 5 minutes. And then even, it's like, Jesus, it's like you're trying to reduce, because to change the consciousness of people's minds from what they know, the lessons and study they were taught from school about finances, about monetary systems, is all a complete pack of lies. And you have to completely reformat their brains. And a lot of the people that you want to go out and reach to are not of the same understanding, albeit that, in their defense, there are more people who are becoming more awake to what the world is, right? The world is pretty fucked up right now. Yeah. A lot of people are starting to be like, this is wrong. My business has collapsed. Like, I'm not allowed to open it because of this stupid pandemic that's going on, for example. And I've just lost my whole livelihood, for example. So they're like, something is fundamentally wrong. Everybody knows shit's wrong, right? So it's
that
like
whole Robinhood thing that just happened recently was another good social red pilling moment.
You know what's crazy, man? I didn't even hear nothing about it until I started seeing a bit of it today, like GameStop and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a whole big manipulation thing taking place. I'm like, I completely missed it because I was so deep for days and days and days, and it's like, wow, like this is the big trending story. Well, there's nothing new there, really, is there? Like,
and
literally,
what more powerful sell or selling point can you get for crypto? And I mean, it was just the timing was amazing, and it's like, oh man, I think what's great is that story is not near being done, and I think and I hope that crypto can feed off that continuously for the coming weeks, perhaps months, and the light bulb maybe goes off in a lot more minds.
At the same time, they just threw out a whole load of paper silver contracts and dumped the market down, apparently, as well, at the same time. So it's like stock market manipulation, precious metal manipulation. It's like basically there's no safe haven for anybody anywhere, right? And then I think they're just trying to siphon them into crypto. Why? Because then they probably just pull the fucking rug on that as well. And then we're all fucked. You're all going down together.
Yeah, it's the whole thing was pretty wild because basically what happened is that, because it was marketed, or it's kind of been on the media, I guess, is like the little guy, went against the big guy, but it was kind of more complex than that because this hedge fund had shorted Tesla in the past and hurt Tesla whenever Tesla was like becoming trying to become a company, because that's what you have, these businesses that are trying to become viable businesses in the marketplace, but then you have the stock market side that are trying to make money off just the stock. So I think it was a long-term like revenge, because then Elon tweeted about the GameStop stock that hedge fund had 11 billion in short calls for GameStop. So basically they ran GameStop up and bankrupted that hedge fund. And then they've been talking about doing silver, and like I think it's pretty deep. I don't know if it's just the small guys doing it. I think there's some big guys along with them.
Yeah, and like how easy would that be for a bigger player to see what's happening with these little guys? And I mean, their capital amount, I mean, in mass, all united together is tremendous, as we've seen. But if you can get in early enough and throw in with that and push that narrative, like give that just a mega turbo boost, that's just powerful stuff, and kind of scary depending upon what side, long or short, you're on.
Yeah, and that's what happened with Citadel. So Citadel is one of the Robinhood's main companies that it works with, and so there's talk about Robinhood halted the stocks because of they have ties to these other companies that are benefiting from it. So but Robinhood said it wasn't because of that. But if it's all good and well whenever they're killing it and making a bunch of money over the normal guy's heads, but whenever the normal guy makes a little bit and then they halt to where you can't no longer buy that that stock, that's not free market.
No, it's completely manipulated. Yeah.
But I wanted to go back to one thing. Like whenever Hex first started, Richard has brought this up. Like whenever he was thinking about how to market it, like you had a few options, but two of the options where you market it to the tech savvy people that know about the technical side of it, and then you market on technicalities, or you go for the average no coiner, flashy pictures, draw them in like that. And it kind of went towards the latter, I guess. And then so you had some techie people that didn't like the site. You had a mix. So I think from where it is now, there's a foundation. Obviously, it's kind of up to us, the community, to branch out and enter these other areas. And Richard tweeted yesterday. He said, basically that don't be in an echo chamber. Get out and spread Hex in all these other areas of that we have our spheres of influence in our lives.
Yeah, and I think that was taking a part of that kind of what Coffee was getting at earlier about the people with money being the ideal. I mean, obviously for any investment, but especially for Hex. And I know just personally with the people that I've onboarded, they do well, and they also understand delayed gratification, and they're not in a rush to make a quick trade. And you definitely don't want to, at least my opinion, don't want to onboard somebody who's just like, okay, well, you know, when can I sell it? Like that's a red flag, and you know, I'll move on to the next there. But it's these people with they're smart, they have some money, they have the long-term perspective, and they get this concept of time locking, and that's the easiest sell to me, and they get it, and it's a certain type of mindset, mind you, that it takes to understand that concept, but those are the easiest onboards, and that's exactly the type of user that we want in Hex.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, I actually have to go because I have to take care of a couple things. But yeah, so just wanted to say bye to you guys real quick, and especially Silver. It's nice to finally talk to you on stream. So
cheers, man. See you later, Vince.
Yeah, see you
Thanks,
later.
Vince.
Yeah,
Thanks,
care.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that Uniswap socks went up from? It basically almost the same thing happened. Like they went from socks. I don't even know what they are. I think they give them to liquidity providers. They're like nothing. I don't know. But anyway, they were like $5,000 or something, and they went up to like 30, almost the price of a Bitcoin. Because I noticed that it was cool though. The Uniswap, like Hayden Adams was there. I've seen him trying to reach out to the Wall Street Bets people, and like even AOC came out and was talking about the Robinhood thing. So it was like shedding a lot of light on it, and he was trying to say, hey, you guys don't like this middleman type stuff. We have Uniswap decentralized finance right here. But it was funny to watch those things. It was the same thing. Liquidity pools, small guy made like a $220,000 buy, but it just shot the price up. It's crazy to watch that stuff.
Well, I didn't see it, but there's that opportunity at every stage in so many different markets here, which is why it's kind of, although we don't think it is actually early stages. We think we've been around here a long time. It's like, oh my God, this thing's old. It's like most of the money's not really coming in yet. It's not
too close to the situation, as I call it.
Right.
Sometimes you need to take a step back and be like, okay, well, if I were new, how would I think about this?
Yeah. The question is, I think it's go back to the .com, right? Most things probably won't hang around, which is why it's so important for us to make sure we fucking hang around. Right? We're in it. We've got those long stakes out there. So it's like we need to make this shit happen. And even if like you're spending your time, you're spending all your energy and you're not getting anything back, it's like that's what you have to do to make something happen for the future. So, I'm doing 14-hour days, something like that, every single day. Tuning, honing, editing, recording, just time and time. And then people are saying, hey, Silver, where are you? I'm like, yeah, I'm here. I'm good. Everything's fine. But it's like, I just don't have enough time to be in both spaces at the same time. That's the problem. And it's like, I'm having to detract from doing Hex stuff to do Hex stuff, right? Does it make sense? And it's I earn a bit of money from Hex, but it's like it ain't anything, right? It's not enough to survive. But it's like you have a presence in doing something, and you can continue building something because you hope that thing's going to be better in the future, or you can actually remove yourself from what is just poverty, which is basically YouTube. YouTube is basically poverty. For anybody that's out there that doesn't realize, anyone that actually creates content, you don't earn shit. All right. you get a bit of sponsorship money, you get a bit of like handouts from here and there, and it's like that's it. It's nothing. So it's like you have to, if you're wanting to do something full time, and believe it or not, I've lived crypto for years already. I haven't done anything else but doing this stuff, and it's an interesting life. You have to live with the ups and downs of cycles and the emotions that comes with that cycle. And obviously we've just come out of a big bear market, and it's like, okay, I don't really know any difference from back in the bear market. For me, it's still kind of the same, but it's like, because now I'm staked also. So it's like, it's unattainable anyway. An element of it, right? So it's like, yeah, you have something, but you don't have nothing because you can't get it.
I think that goes back to a point that you mentioned earlier, Silver, is the maximization of your time. And it's like, you made a great point as to like, okay, well, I can do spreadsheets and have this impact within the community, or I can go bigger and go far outside of the community, and what benefit would each have, and weighing those options. And obviously the reaching outside the community would be of max benefit. And that's as long as
it achieves it.
Right. Well, yeah, but you don't know unless you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So,
but that's the challenge, because it's like, okay, I could actually focus a lot more doing something that actually works. But you kind of, yes, you are inside of a chamber, and you need to break out of that. You have to always be looking to reach that newer ground, that newer territory. Because that's what we're doing. We're fighting for territory.
Speaking of, because I just brought up spreadsheets, it did get me thinking. Can we expect any other spreadsheet videos, or are you just gung-ho on this new social initiative? And if you are watching some addresses, how much liquid do you think is out there? Because I think at one point you might have said if one of your videos, maybe 5 billion, that was months ago, maybe, or a month or two ago. You have any insight on, how much of these liquid accounts are left? I've kept track of a small list. I've had like 10. That's down to about 5. So maybe 180 million that I'm watching. But just curious.
You're watching 180 million hex.
Well, in the wallet that I have, I just said you were watching billions. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a few hex out there.
But with high probability of, just the ongoing, cash out 5 million here, 1 million here. Some guys have taken it down, maybe they're onto you, like you mentioned in your one video, and they're going below certain thresholds so you won't detect them. But yeah.
No, I don't have time to play both sides.
Gotcha.
To monitor hex is a full-time job.
You are correct about that. And I want to do more hex, but you just said it right there. There's so much that. So
if people want to pay me full time to do hex shit, I'll do hex shit. But it takes time. And to be honest, it takes health. This is the biggest value that people don't understand. For me to do that stuff, literally, I get into like gray man territory. I start mentally deteriorating.
Your lights start flickering.
Yeah, no, it's not a good place to be.
I know.
Is that just after a long day, or is that, say, weeks at a time?
No, weeks at a time. Yeah, you do one set of video, I get it done. It's like bam, there's a big achievement I just got done. Out it goes. People appreciate it. It's like, okay, now they need the next one for the next week. To do like a week's worth of data. For when you do like you watch a 2-hour video or hour and a half, 2-hour video, that takes like 7 days. 7 days of like 12, 14-hour shifts to create that.
Yeah, your return on investment for social.
It's not good. No, it's not good. It's not good. So it's like, it's important just to crunch the data out, to get it there, to say, okay, community, there it is. That's what's happened. We have a log, we have a data, there it is. Download it, make sure you got a copy in case the channel gets shut down, whatever. So it's there. I made sure I did as much as I could. I think I did like 3 months worth of work. I think I did some back maybe like June 2020, like early, something like that. And then October I did a bunch, and November I did a bunch into December. So it's like, okay, that basically takes care of like the big run up, the big phase up until big payday. So, and then we did the New Year's, finale, and then I went into the main conference as well. So it's like, okay, that's the biggest hurdle of information that was kind of covered, right? The rest of it is kind of like people can, paint the picture going forward as to what's taking place, because you can see the stakes. Everybody knows the accounts now already as well. People post the accounts and say, "Hey, Silver, you watching this one?" I'm like, no, not really.
It's probably in your spreadsheet somewhere.
Right, of course, yeah, I've got so many. I've got so many, and it's I tell you something crazy as well. Shit, only the other day, because I've now transferred into doing different type of work. I had to update my. I use a Mac, and I had to update my operating system to one of the latest versions. Because, well, not the latest, but anyway, one of the softwares that I wanted to use wouldn't let me use the program because my system wasn't up to date. And you know what? I hate updating my systems because it always fucks up other programs inside your systems, right? So it's like
I know that for a fact. I had microphone issues because I was already on Big Sur, and then awful.
So my latest one is basically I'm now not allowed to operate Word or Excel.
Wow.
That sucks.
Without paying a subscription to get access to them. I don't know what the hell that's about. But basically, they want something like, I don't know, $150 a year to subscribe to Excel and Word.
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
Yeah.
Scam.
But I was thinking one of the things that Hex is so unique in that you should be using time, because I just look at it like, okay, if I'm doing something with my time, what am I getting out of that time? Is it am I just filling up space, or do I have a goal, or do I have some type of, goal I'm trying to do? So I think even with posting or all the social media stuff, it's nice to be staked, 100% staked fully, maybe dollar cost average, whatever, once a week, once a month, whatever you do, and then have extra time to be able to either, whatever that is, if it's in your off, non-Hex related life. But it's just cool how Hex it meshes with good life values of waiting for the future and all those things. So it's kind of cool that we're 100% staked, whereas another thing is these other coins don't really have communities. They have just groups of people that don't show their face, and some of them have big numbers, but they don't have real human people getting on screen or creating channels and stuff in the mass like I see. And I don't see them reaching in and talking about getting into these separate areas coordinated like we are. They're more sporadic, I guess. So I think it's unique to Hexicans. Would you agree?
Totally.
Are you all right over there?
Oh, well, maybe he's not right on the mic right now. But yes,
I think he's doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's you can make you can just get caught up. I mean, if you think you're gonna achieve virality by just like shit posting, it's not. That's usually not. That happens once out of a million, but a lot of times it's building a foundation for long periods of time with building groups of people and connecting communities, or just building community organically some other way, and then introducing Hex, because that's kind of how it happens in the real life anyway. Because so like all my friends and family, what have they done my whole life? Just watch me grow up, watch me live, watch actions that I'm doing. So whenever I brought Hex to them, they already, like, most of them already respected me, or already knew that I if I was going to tell him something, it was going to be legit, like, because I don't mess around with anything. So when I would tell him, it was like, yeah, if it's done this for you and you're so adamant, then I should definitely just at least listen to you. And that just opened the door. So it was like the onboarding process was like way smooth, opposed to meeting a brand new person you never met through a post on Twitter. It's like the dynamics are so much different.
And that goes back to part of what you said there is what Silver had mentioned. It's like and what I mentioned is like being too close to the situation. And it's like, well, we've been around Hex for a long time. So it feels like, okay, we've been around for a long time. Let's get this thing moving. But really, I mean, we're still in, the first inning, and you take a step back and it is an exciting thing to think about. It's just perspective. And sometimes you're too close to the situation and you zoom out and you're like, all right, we're doing fine. Zoom out on the chart, zoom out on the product, the community. We're doing awesome.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. There's someone out there that wants to buy $100 hex. They just don't know it right now. I mean, that is like the reality, because you don't, like, it's the diamond thing, you, like Johnny Chaos says, you don't forget that you're holding on to diamonds. Like, sometimes you're around it a lot, you're hearing it a lot, you stop to appreciate, actually the value of it or the future value in it. And you can make a short-term mistake pretty quickly.
$100 hex. Damn.
I'll take a dime now.
I'm just thinking of like market cap. Okay, hang on, wait. What is like the whole market, like worldwide, of everything? Derivatives.
Yeah, it would be a stupid number. I don't. Right. Yeah. But yeah, I just, the value of it is like, it's totally different especially for someone that got in at the very beginning till now. Like, they didn't think they could see a penny. They saw a penny, and, but the people that are getting in at a penny, they haven't seen 10 cents, but the guys that got in earlier had seen that move. So it's like, you get kind of used to it. And it could be a negative.
It's beautiful because it's just a transfer of each stage, right? And that's why you need people to constantly innovate the share and the education, right? Because if we've already talked about it a lot today inside of this stream, but we have some very amazing people that can actually do some very powerful things with what we have. I'm not one of them, but I'll do what I can do to the best of my ability.
Oh, you are. Stop it.
We have other people. No, there's certain people that, come to mind that I'm just like, these guys just fucking nail it. Literally. Right. And I think with the right cohesion of the goal to level it to the next place, and everybody focuses that time. But the difference is, some of those people, they work full-time jobs. They got their careers. They're doing certain things. So they cannot invest with what is really actually required. Like me, I'm working full-time. I'm working full-time for free to build, to my best ability, what I think Hex needs.
Oh, you're working for Hex full time. I was like, I'm working full time, but yeah, you're putting in the work.
No, I'm working free full time. I got a few dollars coming in Patreon, and that's it. Like, it's not enough for me to live. It doesn't pay my rent. It's like, So
that's the same with me though. For 8 months, I worked 12-hour days for 8 months straight, 5 days a week, and then I go into like two months of maybe 10-hour days, and then I get a little bit of downtime in the winter, a little bit, but my career is completely disconnected from anything crypto. It's not even in the same breath or anything,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool though. Because
can I ask what that is, or?
yeah, it's in forestry. So
Okay.
Yeah, kind of mad about that. I had some forest jokes for our joke off, but that didn't happen. So, or tree jokes. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually the guy that determines the price of timber from a private seller or the United States government to a private party, because there's these big billion-dollar timber industries. One of them is in California. They're like the largest landowner in one of the largest in the world. And so they have tons of land. The United States government, the Forest Service, has tons of land. And there's billions of dollars involved. So there's conflict of interest. So there has to be basically a third party middleman to determine anything price wise. So it's
okay.
Yeah.
Is your industry right now bananas just because of the price of lumber? Like, is it the craziest it's ever been? Or does that not affect what you're doing?
No, construction's big still.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying for what El Hexidente is seeing and doing. Because I've seen, construction and lumber is, I think, bananas last time I checked.
Yeah, because we basically go balls to the wall no matter what, especially with the company that I'm contracted with. They're insane. But yeah, so they pretty much go nonstop, and the market price has been, because when it's crazy, when the COVID stuff happened, the smaller guys got squeezed. The larger corporations basically squeezed them out, then raised prices. But there was, obviously it's harder to make the product. People aren't showing up for work, this and that. But yeah, there was talk about it, but no, it's always, it's 100% full gas pedal all the time. So, but it was talked about, but it didn't change. We were already crazy. The main thing is these fires in California. We have these massive fires, and that becomes super busy. I work on all the fires, or all the logs that come off all the fires and all that stuff. So that's when it gets real hectic.
Yeah, the logging stuff, that's also similar to the diamond trade as well, right? Because if you own enough land, you've got all those trees being grown. They're in a cycle. They're in a constant revolve of land mass. So it's like, okay, we got like 10,000 trees on that plot. We got 10,000 on that, and they're all working on a system that's ready to be mature. That's ready to be what's the terminology? Make them fall, make it fall in. What's the word to make them cut them down, drop the tree down?
Yeah, well, it'd be called it would be called maturity. Yeah, every 40, 60, 80 years they're cycling through these patches.
And it's literally just on a revolving conveyor belt, basically, right?
Yeah, all those spots they've replanted, like all their own land where they've logged and then replanted. It's just on a cycle. It's a big giant grid now.
So it's like no matter what happens, they need to cut them to replant the next ones. So it's like we need to send those to market no matter what. So of course they're gonna control it. Yeah, so it's the same shit. Same shit.
And it's just crazy. It's scary. I'm not scary in a bad way, but whenever I see how much money is in just the timber industry in these companies, I'm like, this is just one little tiny vein of basically American economy and maybe Canadian economy, like has billions and billions and billions, and they own more land than like almost anyone other than cattle ranchers. And it's like, just whenever I think about HEX, there's just a tiny drop of the bucket of the monetary investment that is in, it's so small compared to the world right now.
And they're probably being subsidized as well, right?
No, this one company is a bad dog. It's a private company. It's not even publicly traded, and they basically bought the Santa Fe Railroad Company about 20 years ago, and that was the big move, because it wasn't about the railroad, it was about the land next to the railroad that they bought. And they took a private loan for that to do that. So no, it's been all private. The government is actually really the government makes it extremely hard for them to operate in California, almost impossible. Washington's a little easier, but no, they're not government subsidized. They're actually, the government makes it harder for them to operate.
Cool.
Most companies are, though. Like there is a lot of, but just that specific one isn't. But there is a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing when I get into crypto. It's like the worlds are, there's a few similarities, but not many.
How'd you get into it, crypto?
Well, it was about, I had this thought in my brain that I had this thought in my brain that I didn't have a choice, that I had to find a way to make my money work for me, because I saw other people doing it. So if I see other people someone else doing something, I automatically think I can do it because there's a human doing it. So why can't I do it? So
why not me? Yeah.
So I started searching a little bit, and you get the same stuff we've been talking about, the passive income stuff you find on wherever it is, YouTube or when you're searching around. And you also find pretty quick that most of the people around you know nothing about finance and will probably steer you in the wrong direction, especially your parents or people that say they love you. It's just a normal thing. I was just searching, and I don't remember the exact time, date, and stuff, but I do remember seeing Richard with one of the first videos was like dollar cost crypto and some other guys talking about stake ladders before I even knew. I had no idea what they were talking about. And this was maybe 9 months ago, 10 months ago or something like that. And then, but it was pretty quick, realized, okay, I realized what HEX was, figured out about it. Basically all the FUD and stuff, I knew that I could see how shallow everything was, and I know how the medias are and how people react to it. So the FUD didn't really, get to me that much. I knew that was just normal. And it just happened. And I basically taught myself how to do everything through videos and through most of the Hexican videos and Richard's videos. And then fast forward, 10 months or something. And that's where we're at.
Heck yeah, man. Well, just wanted to do a quick PSA. We got 10 minutes till Discourse does the ladies stream. And if you guys have any questions while we have Silver here, post them in the chat. I think we might have one or two, Silver, or anything else you want to chime in on. Or not.
Can you hear us
again?
No, I'm just reading.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to say thank you to Silver for everything. Even I looked at some of the video, like I watched some of the videos. I've seen people talking about him, but I think it's a smart thing to put your time into these other ventures for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love the videos. Silver will make quips while he does them. Like, I don't know who the hell's interested in this stuff, but I'm like, I like it, and I'm learning it, and it's gotten me into doing some address and chain analysis. Nowhere near what he does, but it is a fascinating thing to look at.
Basic skills are required. Like if you
just have to get used to looking at.
Yeah, like if you drive a car, you need to know like where the oil goes.
Yep.
Right. It's just little things, and
it's
little
time
introductions.
invested.
Yeah. So there was a question about. Have you investigated the expired stakes on backup HEX? I wonder who leaves 10 million HEX stakes bleed out. I haven't looked into that type of stuff. Because for me, if somebody's letting stakes go and bleed, they're gonna bleed. It's like, okay, maybe they bought it early, maybe they staked. Okay, they're bleeding. So what more information is that you need to know? It's like the trend. The trend is your friend until the end. Well, the trend is that he's bleeding out. So the chances are he's going to continue bleeding out because he's forgot about it. He's either dead or something's happened. that's a substantial amount that they're just not claiming. So is it worth me digging into who exactly that is and why that is going back into the stake? No, what's important to me is that people like that are irrelevant because those funds are now being distributed to everybody else.
Yeah, and there's too many variables to know.
Yeah. Focus on the important data. Who is buying? Who is selling? What is happening to the stake pattern over time? Are people staking longer? Are people ending stakes? Are people panicking? Is more adoption happening? It doesn't matter about the old history. You know, there's going to be so many. This is the thing that's going to happen over. You know, this is like year one, right? Year one stroke year two. There's going to be so many weird shit that happens into year two, year three, year four, where just it doesn't make sense. Big stakes are just going to bleed out because people forget about it. People lose access to their wallets as well. Don't forget that.
That's a big one, actually. Yeah, just think
course.
about Bitcoin.
Look, I put a video out a long fucking time ago based upon this little thing, which is quite a common thing that happens to a lot of people as they approach their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Dementia. People's minds fucking deteriorate and erase what they even know. Like everybody inside of streams today are talking about shit. Like they're completely coherent. They know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But guess what? We're all susceptible to mental deterioration. And even me, I can forget my fucking name tomorrow. Right? I'll forget that who the hell I am. I'll forget that I'm Silver. I'm supposed to be doing shit on Hex, right?
You'll just be the antidote.
I'll just be like, I don't know. I'll just be completely removed from existence. And it's like, I won't know who I am. And people are going to be in that space into the future unless they actually know how to make defenses against that and have, you know, family members or friends or people that they trust to inform them about their stakes. In fact, you know, it is a very important video that I made because nobody covered it. And it's so critical. I could look it up, but I can't be bothered. But it's inside one of my videos. Fuck it, let me find it because it is actually important.
All right. Well, while you're looking for that, I got another one for you from chat if you're ready.
Give me 1 sec.
This is more of a philosophical question, perhaps.
I love it. I love deep ones.
It's rather short and simple, but I've never thought of it this way.
Okay. 1 sec.
Yeah, and I was thinking, who knows? There's so many variables. People could pass away, they lose their keys, it's just it goes on forever, you know. Well, on the why this person didn't, you know. And 10 million.
One of the problems I have is like, you know, I travel, you know, a reasonable amount, and you constantly also have to update your wallets and stuff like that, update your firmware on your devices and stuff like this. And that's not always so easy to do. So you can lose connection in just end staking, for example, because you don't have the ability to get to your keys because you're away from them. And then, you know, dementia can strike or any form of event could happen. You could be removed from being able to transit because of COVID. You're blocked, you're locked in, you're locked down, whatever is going on in the world. The world's crazy. So it's like there's so many things that can actually prevent you from doing a simple thing of end staking. I know you can do it remotely, but that means you still have to have an access to a MetaMask. You have to put credit into it. You then have to send that through into the contract to end stake or a good account your position. But you need to know how to do that. And how many people actually know how to do that outside of their initial wallet, right? Have any of you actually tried it? No.
The quick answer would be no, but I was going through Etherscan because I seen Bally at Brand did he made a video where he went through the contract through Etherscan.
That's good.
But no, I haven't.
Yeah, no, I haven't either. So it's like,
Yeah, but it's like you need, like you said, if you're traveling, you need good internet. You need like these are some important things you need, especially like updates and all these things that happen as time goes forward. Yeah, I could see where you could run into a host of issues. How many minutes do we got till discourse?
I got 5-ish. Plus, they have like that long intro, so I'd say like less than 10.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be some new girls on there. I don't know all which ones, but it'll be interesting to see. And then I think I'm gonna go on discourse tonight. So
Slamming the airwaves, man. Doing media rush, media push.
that's
El Hexidente is everywhere this week.
yeah,
just
I got
quick shout out. Link inside the chat box right now for the video that I was talking about. It's vital to protect all your crypto from your own mind. That's the title of the video. It's only had 264 views, so most of you haven't watched it. It's my old stuff, but it's about basically dementia and how it's vital to protect your keys and to inform other people in your families about staking Hex. Enjoy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that because that is a big thing. Because there's some people, even that I know, some of my friends' family, that they're like, hey, whenever I got to end stake and stuff, like I don't know exactly what to do, so I'm gonna have to call you. I'm just like, all right, well, when that time comes. But yeah, because they don't remember the process because it's been a minute. So
yeah,
I'll go back and watch that for sure. It's on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I'll put the link inside the chat.
Okay.
I'll say looking for the link.
I'll put it in this one too.
Okay.
I think he put it in the private chat.
Yeah, I do both private.
Oh, gotcha.
And the other one. Yeah.
Oh, now I see it. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So what was the question? Was there a question or something?
Oh yeah, it was just a more of a philosophical thing. If I can go back and find it.
Sorry.
Yeah, what staker class is the most dangerous for price? And that's pretty interesting, but simple. I mean, simple question, but very interesting to think about. I mean, obviously, just in terms of volume, your mind goes to whales, but they're whales, and to me, that's the safe zone there. Like you're like this 1.4 billion guy in March. I'm not scared of him, but I think some people are on edge about it. But it's kind of like know your fellow hodler, and I feel comfortable. I feel more comfortable with whales than I do with guys, maybe dolphin size or below with liquid wallets who just try to sell into anything, any kind of move.
Okay. So this is, again, one of those questions that kind of changed over time. So going back to pre-big payday, before then, I would definitely say sharks. But because a lot of them have already sold out big positions and we're moving into the last phase of probably some of them damaging, the rest of the sharks are probably much longer term. There's still a couple, because a few of my videos you have noticed that I highlight a lot of those top 100 accounts in red. And those are the ones that are predominantly going to be ending through the time that I made that video with like December through to February, March. I think that was the time scale. But I predominantly focused on November, December type timeframes because I was like, let's focus on what's happening imminently, not worry about what's into the distance too much. That hasn't been revised because obviously I haven't had time to reevaluate, the top 100 to see how things have shifted. But I know the general trend was, and this is something I still believe in a lot, that a lot of those sharks, we got like, 110, 114, something like that. A lot of them are going to drop off. They're going to cash out, they're going to sell out, a lot of them, and they're going to lose those positions, they're going to become dolphins. And I think that probably the 100 odd sharks are going to probably whittle down to maybe like 70, 60 as time goes by. and that means the top 100 will also include dolphins.
No, I now that you put it like that, I can see that happening.
Right. So, there's a lot of high-level dolphins who are long staked, but there's a lot of low-level sharks who are short staked.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of high-level squids that are staked long as well, like the 1,500 down, something like that.
Yeah, but if you look at like the percentage of actually how much damage they can create to the marketplace, it's not a lot.
No, the percentage, yeah, exactly, yeah.
So that's the question.
Yeah.
Is what is the riskiest class that are going to create something?
So sharks, you think?
No, I don't think so. It has already been the sharks. The sharks are the ones who have done that already, which is why where we are, and that's the sharks that are going to diminish over time. So it's going to be the high level dolphins that have the percentage to create that risk.
Okay, got it.
But it really, I really would have to do an update to the top 100 or the top 150 to kind of concrete how the new move has happened. But like I say, I reckon there's only going to be about 60 to 70 sharks, and then 30 to 40 high-level dolphins are going to be in that top 100, because I exclude OA as well, right? OA don't count.
Yeah.
That's excluded. That's like 12 accounts.
Yeah.
So,
all right, we got like 2 minutes given the intro, so don't want to overlap.
We're calling it a day then.
Absolutely. But before we go, just everybody, quick shill. Silver, where can we find you? I know you don't want to give away what you're doing, but give us a little tease, and where can we find you online?
Twitter.
Silver
_Antidote on Twitter. Yeah, that's where I'll do updates if there's anything. That's it. Yeah, not got time to do any YouTube at the moment, but that's why I jumped on today. People wanted to hear what's going on a little bit, so
yeah,
here I am.
I've been trying to get you on a weekend or something. But I'm so glad it worked out. So thank you very much for.
Cool. I saw it. Let's do it. And hopefully I'll do a few more. And it depends, because when you get into stuff, it's like I don't have time to get into other channels, other things. Keep up to date with what's going on Hex, because it's full time. To really be able to talk fluently about the data, it's hardcore. So I'm happy. I've got a bit of time off and focus on other stuff, and you guys are basically keeping things going and informing me of what's taking place, right?
Heck yeah. We'll try.
Awesome.
Hexidente, where can we find you, brother?
So you can find me on Twitter at El Hexidente, and at Telegram El Hexidente. And today I just made my Staker app referral, and you can find that at staker.rocks. And that's about it.
Awesome. Everybody knows the drill. Cabana Crypto. I can see the intro is going on for Discourse Syndicate, so all Hexicans, head over there. They are about to go live, and thank you everybody for coming on. Silver, thank you, and thanks to Johnny Chaos and Coffee and everybody. It was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thanks everyone. Thanks Cabana.
See
See you, Silver.
Let's see that.